Hey yo, who got the picks? High picks that ought to hit with the parlays to get the best money. I'm a bet. Small time or max unit, all the paper you can get. Doing this ain't new to this. We take rips and cash flips. So who got the picks? High picks that ought to hit with the parlays to get the best money. I'm a bet. Small time or max unit, all the paper you can get. Doing this ain't new to this. We take rips and cash flips. Hey yo, Long Island, streaming live from New York. Strong Island, we get live what you thought. Bank roll too short. Y'all need the stack paper and rob the sports book like a crook full of paper. If you think we ain't hitting, then your chance is slim. It's victory bung wrist with Luke and Gaffney Jim. Got me cashing in a clock of chips on the regular. Fuck the rest of other cappers ain't competitors. Ain't no stress, we just clocking them checks. The best plus money bets in 60 seconds or less. So get yours while the live odds popping. Underdog shopping, big crops stay dropping. Non-stopping till the clock hit nil, but you can still get a deal while the boys make a kill. So you can watch the shills with the same old gimmick of flipping out and cop some guap with the main car minute. Who got the picks? High picks that ought to hit with the parlays to get the best money. I'm a bet. Small time or max unit, all the paper you can get. Doing this ain't new to this. We take risks and cash slips. Who got the picks? High picks that ought to hit with the parlays to get the best money. I'm a bet. Small time or max unit, all the paper you can get. Doing this ain't new to this. We take risks and cash slips.
Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome to the live chat number 2, MMA live chat, whatever. We don't really have a name for this, guys. We don't know what we're calling it. I'm Long Island Luke. Welcome. This is Main Card Minute. You guys already know the drill. If you don't already, please follow me on social media. Please subscribe to the channel, right? If you want to get in on the action, you can ask a question in the live chat. Just do me a favor and add a question mark to your actual question, because then it'll, like, on my end, it'll show up as a question. It makes it way easier. Just makes it way easier. If you're a member already, which I appreciate everyone who is a member, you can ask a question ahead of time on the post that I put out. Otherwise, you can ask a question in the chat right now, as well as everyone else. All right, guys, we don't have too many questions to get to, so feel free to fire away in the chat. I'm going to throw back up the socials real quick and just remind you to follow all the other channels that I support. One More Round Fights with my boy Gaff, Morning Combat, which is obviously every Monday and Friday, new episode Friday, and Foes to Bros, which we didn't have this week, and I actually don't think we have it next week either, but it does return either the week of UFC 330 or the week after UFC 330. Don't quote me, but it's either not going to be next week, it's going to be the following week, or it will come back next week. But full acknowledgement, there was no episode this week. Sorry about that. You guys already know you can follow me everywhere else as I sit back for a second and take a sip of this. I saw some people being like, does Long Island Luke do bong hits on his live chat? And other people were like, no. And I was like, I didn't even think about that, guys. I got high before last time. So, like, we can do bong hits if you want, you know. There's no rules against it, all right? But let's take a look at the questions you guys got to. Reminder, if you guys want to talk anything, we had UFC Serbia this weekend, UFC Belgrade to be exact. I was in attendance for PFL Long Island, if you guys want to talk about anything with that. We do have an Apex card this weekend, UFC Vegas 120. It's pretty shit, I'm not going to lie, but the main event is actually super intriguing. Mateusz Gamrot taking on Quillen Salkild. PFL Charlotte is actually, like, a pretty good card. I would argue it's better than the Long Island card. Truth be told, I haven't looked into it, like, betting wise yet. I haven't looked at any odds or anything, but just looking at the card, it looks pretty decent. We did just get a bunch of UFC 331 fight announcements today, and all of them are trash. Like, literally all of them. We got Moicano Ortega too, which, you know, it just feels trash because it's been booked like 3 times now and keeps getting canceled. It just feels like, just get this fight over with already. And then we got fucking, like, Tai Tuivasa taking on Rebellis de Spain. Like, what are we doing here? Just weird. Minus 1,000, you know, Gable Stevenson against Sean Sharaf, probably minus 2,000. It's going to be ridiculous. Alon Nascimento died, guys. Poor guy had a fucking heart attack. He was a flyweight in the UFC. He's actually, like, had a winning record, was pretty good. He fought as recently as, I don't know, 2 months ago against Mitch Raposo. We had him in a parlay and he won. Or no, maybe he lost to Mitch. I don't even remember, guys. But either way, fun guy, and super sad to hear. Apparently, Turki Al-Sheikh offered Islam Makhachev a boxing match. Like, why anyone would have any interest in Islam Makhachev in a boxing match is beyond me. But, we could talk about that if you want. And then last but not least, we did talk about this on MK on Monday, although it wasn't technically official yet. It is now technically official. John Silva taking on Yair Rodriguez at Noche. And also the Noche card in general is actually like pretty stacked this year. So I'm looking forward to that one. But let's get into the member questions that you guys had. Once again, here is the post. I'll post this out every I put it out so you can see 23 hours ago. So, about 24 hours before we go live. So Tuesday morning. First up from the Painting Dead. Can these chats be closer to 4 p.m.? I don't get out of work until 3:30 Central Time. That's a fair point. I'm just trying to fill a void, I feel like, in the MMA gap, which is this 11 a.m. slot on a Wednesday. You know what I mean? Because it's like Monday, we have MK at 11 a.m. Then you got Ariel at 1 p.m. Then, at that point, everyone might be MMA'd out at that point, but maybe you continue going into other shows. I don't really know the rest of the schedule. Tuesday, again, MMA fighting, sometimes they do their between the links. They do it Thursdays, but occasionally they'll move that shit to a Tuesday morning. And I didn't want to overlap with that. Again, Ariel at 1 p.m. on Tuesday. Wednesday, I feel like no one goes Wednesday morning. So I was like, oh, word, I'll take that spot. Same thing, though. Want to kind of be done by 1. Ariel is off this week, so, we can go a little later. But Thursday, LT already does his live chat. I didn't want to take that. And then whatever. And then also for me personally, it's better to just like do it in the morning. I got plenty of shit to do during the day. Later in the day, my girlfriend gets home. I don't want to be doing it like when she gets home. It's just like it's convenient right now. That all being said, next week we have UFC 330 pregame preview in the Metal Arc studio in New York City with Chuck and Jed and LT, and that is on Wednesday. So I will not be here doing this live chat next Wednesday. I'm going to move it to Tuesday, and I'm thinking around what you just suggested, 4 p.m.-ish, 5 p.m.-ish, something like that. So for anyone who wanted to catch this live and hasn't been able to, next week will be a totally different time. For anyone who has been here and said, this time's super convenient, well, sorry. Next week it's going to change. MK takes priority, but we'll see how it goes. Also, we got like a huge week next week between I'm doing like a shitload of giveaways. Gaff and I are doing a shitload of live shows. We're doing a shitload of extra content on, Instagram and shit. So make sure, again, if you don't already follow me on Instagram, you do. Main Card Minute. Also, I had to get verified on Twitter. I've already talked about this. So, now your boy's verified. It looks a little more official. Maybe you want to give it a follow, just saying. But I'm probably going to get rid of that when the month ends, just being honest. All right. Thank you, The Painting Dead, for the timing or the suggestion, I guess we'll call it, really more than a question. He's again back to say, what is one city or venue you would love to see some fights live in or other sporting events? It's so funny you asked that because me and my girlfriend were literally the other night, like, we've always wanted to go to Seattle. I don't really know why. I just feel like we want to go to Seattle. Like, it's like the home of grunge. You already know your boy's got the Pearl Jam album. Like, I'm a big grunge guy. And then like I always like growing up, I always talk about this. In Little League, we had to like, take your Little League like baseball card photo, and on the back of it, it has facts about you. And my favorite player growing up was Ken Griffey Jr. And I'm 8 years old, and on the back of my card, it says favorite player Ken Griffey Jr., favorite team Seattle Mariners. Looking back on that as a Yankee fan, I'm like, why the fuck did I put the Mariners? But I do remember it was just because I loved Ken Griffey Jr. so much. I was like, fuck yeah, the Mariners are my team. So I do really want to go see a Mariners game. Then we were like, yo, while we're there, maybe we line it up with a Kraken game. So like, I don't know. I'm foreseeing a sport in any city, but I can't really be like, ooh, I have, like MSG is like my home venue. You know what I mean? Like I go to every event there. So it's kind of just like, it's kind of lost its lore when it comes to like, ooh, I'm in MSG right now. I've never seen fights in MSG, if I'm being honest, but I've seen, plenty of Knicks games, plenty of Ranger games, plenty of concerts where it's like, yeah, it's MSG, whatever. Like Pearl Jam at MSG was fucking sick. That's probably the best thing I've ever been to there. But as far as other cities, I'm trying to think of like iconic event, maybe like the O2 in London. Like that would be kind of cool to see like fights or something there. The Sphere. How did I not think of that? The Sphere would be really fucking cool because I mean, obvious reasons, but not really like, ooh, it's so historic. Just more like, oh, dude, that would actually be really fucking sick. I'm assuming, but yeah, dude, I'm down to travel anywhere. Really, I feel like the world is so fucking big, and I haven't been to enough places, and I often repeat. Like I've been to Australia so many times. Granted, I got family there, but like, it's like, damn, I could have gone to New Zealand one of those times, or I could have gone to, it's like shit like that, but. Thank you again for your question, The Painting Dead. Next up, we got our boy Cosmo Kramer. He said, in 2025, we had 9 new UFC champions crowned. Currently, in 2026, we've only had 3, not including I mean, why would we ever include BMF? Why do you think that is, and will it reach 9 by the end of the year? You'd think every weight class other than light heavyweight, lightweight, and women's bantamweight will have them defended by the end of the year. All right, so there's only been 3. I wish you told me which 3, because now I got to go back and think. So lightweight would be one of them, right? Because Gaethje became champion, right? We got new champions. Yeah, 9 new champions crowned. We've only had 3 this year. So we've had Justin Gaethje this year. We've had Jan was last year. Volk was last year. Islam was last year. Strickland was this year. And Olberg was this year. Okay. So Olberg, Strickland, and Gaethje. So now... here's the thing, like, okay, Piotr Jan and Merab, I do think rematch in the next like 2 to 3 months, but if Piotr Jan wins it again, then we're not getting a new champion there. So it's like more, I want to answer it like, here's what I think will happen. Like, yeah, I guess you want me to answer it. Well, who's going to dethrone? All right, Merab's going to fucking win the belt back from Piotr Jan. There's one more. That makes 4. Josh Van and like Pantoja. Shit, man, give me Pantoja to win the belt back. That's 5. Volk and like Evloev. No, I'm back in Volk. Fuck that. You said besides lightweight, yeah, Justin probably doesn't fight again this year. We got Islam and Ian Gary. No, Islam's fucking winning that. Strickland, if he fights anyone again, could possibly lose the belt, whether it's Imavov or a Hamzat rematch or DDP. I mean, I don't know why they would really do DDP for a third time, but yeah. So I'll put Strickland there just to add another number. That's 6. Carlos isn't going to fight this year. Tom and Cyril is interesting, but I still want to say Tom wins that. Even if for the sake of the argument, we could put 7 there, just because that's a little iffy. Mackenzie and Jillian, sure. Let's just say Jillian gets the upset. That's 8. Does Val fight this year? / does she lose? Probably not. And then you got when's Kayla and Amanda fighting, man? That's all I'm saying. If that happens, I'd still probably favor Kayla. Yeah, so no, I'm going to say no matter what, it does not hit 9. Also, you asked me why do I think that is. I don't remember what the exact stat was, but wasn't it like the first fucking... when did Charles and Max fought in March? I think it was something like the first like 5 pay-per-views of the year, only like 1 undisputed title was on the line. Does that make any sense? Because it was Gaethje Patty for 324 interim. Then it was Volk Lopez. Okay, that's real. What was 326? Anyone remember? I'm not good at remembering the numbers anymore. UFC 326 was, okay, Holloway Charles, BMF. 327 was Yuri Olberg. All right. But still, 3 of the first pay-per-views, 2 of them didn't have an undisputed. I don't know. Maybe that's why. We just kind of got off to like a slow start on the year, I feel like. And hopefully it picks back up, especially with 2 pay-per-views in October. You would hope that we get some fucking multiple title fights, you know? And like normally, no offense but the women rarely headline. You know, maybe Kayla and Amanda could headline, but like I don't think they're ever gonna have like Val or like, well, I mean, Mackenzie's already not headlining, but you know, I don't think they're ever gonna have strawweight or flyweight really headline like that. So that's a double title fight card. So it's possible we get there. I'm gonna say we don't. And that's my final answer. Thank you, Cosmo. Next up, we got Rob Luria 95. What was the worst job you ever had or one you disliked the most? Mine that I would say I disliked the most would have been when I roofed in my early 20s. Damn, bro. Fuck roofing. I got to say that much. Um, so there's two different kinds of like worst here. Okay. Worst, like on the body, was working with my dad. My dad is like a brick mason, and it's essentially roofing. You're just not on a roof. Granted, I will say roofing is worse because you can't find shade on a roof. You can find shade when you're just laying brick and shit, but a lot of bending over, picking up stone, putting down stone, pinching your finger, just a lot of like hurting of the back and like just miserable. But again, it was with my dad, so that was somewhat enjoyable. Obviously, anytime you're working for your parent, it's fucking like easier than actually, like working in that job. Let's just be real. Also, bonding and shit. Like I enjoyed it, but it was like, bro, like put it this way, I can like get wasted the night before I have MK because ooh, big deal. MK goes live at 11. It's from the comfort of my office. I don't care if I'm hungover. If I was hungover at that job, it was like life or death. I was like in the corner, like fucking yakking half the, you know what I mean? It was like I didn't even want to drink if I knew I had work the next day. It was like absolutely not. I'm gonna be hungover as shit. So fuck that. Worst actual job was the last job I had before I kind of just went like full freelance, which was I won't name the station, but it was, and it's not really any fault of them, but I worked at a news station as a technical director. So I'm like the guy doing the news all night. A, I don't fucking watch the news. B, I don't give a fuck about politics. And C, all the news is fucking like this person was killed and politics. Dude, like and it's so repetitive. Like your shift is, 8 to 10 hours or whatever, and you're probably only covering like on a slow day, you're covering like the same like 4 news stories, but you have to just keep re-recording it every like 30 minutes so that it's like, oh, we got an update to that story. Turns out the politician was guilty. And then like, oh, we got to go live again. Okay. By the way, guys, this is a little inside baseball, but it was actually cool and I didn't realize it until I started working there, but this goes for like Sports Center too. If you guys watch Sports Center, 90% of that is pre-recorded. If you've ever seen them like fuck up in real time, that's how you know it's probably actually a live segment. The way it works is it's like an endless playlist. And essentially what you do, let's say the show starts at 7 a.m. You're going to go live with the news. At 6:45, you can start record. Let's record the intro right now. Hey, welcome to the news, blah, blah, blah. That's a 5-minute segment. All right, let's record that story on whatever. Let's record that lead on whatever. You can record like 4 to 5 stories. Now it's 6:58 and you got 18 minutes worth of stories loaded up for that front block. Now you could chill for the next 20 minutes or start even getting further ahead. And that's essentially what you would do. Like our lunch break was like 2 hours while live news is going on because it's all pre-recorded, because we just recorded all those stories ahead of time, and you just keep your fingers crossed that no like big news breaks. Obviously, if there's like breaking news, we'd have to run back and like actually go live. And if the mayor was ever talking, Mayor Adams, this is New York City, we would fucking have to just like break in live. So going live was rare and it was stressful and shit, but that job was mostly just pre-recorded news stories. Anyways, all that to say, oh, that's how they do Sports Center too, by the way. And then all that to say, that job was fucking terrible because my shift started at 5 a.m. and I live on Long Island. I was in New York City. It's, an hour train ride. But the way the trains run in the middle of the night, I had to catch a 2 a.m. train and get there at 3 a.m. for a 5 a.m. shift. And then I would go into this random back office and just sleep on a couch for 2 hours using like my hoodie as a pillow. It was fucking miserable. And then I would wake up at like 4:45 to my alarm in this fucking office and contemplate suicide, No, not actually. But I'd be like, this is the worst job I've ever had. It's actually terrible. Also, it was it was like, the second floor of a building, but below it was like a club, and they would bump music. You could stay open till 4 a.m. in New York City. So I'd get there at 3 a.m. trying to sleep, but I'd just hear that through the fucking walls until 4. I'd finally fall asleep and then wake up at like 4:45. Terrible. Get out at 2 p.m. get home at like 3:30 and then be like, fuck this, I'm going to bed because I gotta be up at 2 a.m. again. And I was doing the watch alongs at the time. There were times like a pay-per-view would go to like 1:30 in the morning, and then I'd be like, all right, I gotta go. And I'd fucking run to then go catch the train for all that. It's terrible, bro. But it was a cool job. I met Bernie Williams there. He came in once for an interview. Trying to think if I met anyone else there. I wasn't there long. I was only there for like 3 months. But it sucked. It sucked. All right. Next up, we got the Painting Dead again. He said, do you think the Islanders have a chance to lift Lord Stanley's Cup with Sheffer, he wrote. Schaefer, I think he means. Matt Schaefer. I mean, I don't know, dude. That's a fucking loose question. He's, what, 19 years old at this point? I mean, sure. He's got, he's got at least 15 more years in the league, I would think. It's just hard to say. The Islanders lost a lot this offseason. Anders Lee walked away, our captain. What are we going to do? Bo Horvat's probably going to be the captain or some shit. Did they name a captain? I don't think they did. But yeah, dude, they're not signing anyone in free agency. This is going to be another like whatever year for the Islanders. Schaefer's going to be the lone bright spot. We're all going to just watch the games because of him. Barzy, they might be trading, which I hope not. But like, who do you have to build around? Barzy and Bo Horvat and fucking Schaefer. Obviously Schaefer. But even their goaltending, they got like Vitek Vanacek now. He's going to back up Sorokin, I guess. Sorokin's been kind of shit, man. I don't know. I don't have too much faith in the Islanders. I feel like I'm going to be way more into the Knicks this season than I am the Islanders. That's always my problem as a Knicks and Islanders fan is like the games often overlap and it's hard. You kind of have to like fully commit to one team. And obviously the Knicks just won the fucking championship and the Islanders can't even make the playoffs. So it kind of feels like, I should probably just watch the Knicks. But at the same time, I like rooting for the underdog, man. It'll be fun if you watch the Islanders and then they do make the playoffs. It's like, hell yeah, man. But yeah, I don't know. Loosely, I'll say because of the amount of time they have left with him, yes. Fuck yes, they do. Thank you, Painting Dead. Next, we got Alex Schultz. He said, do you have a bankroll strategy? Is there a reason you usually have 2 parlays instead of 5 singles for more consistent returns? Yes and no. So personally, I don't have a bankroll strategy whatsoever. For my bets I give out, I like to give out 3 plays. And part of that is just like, I have done 4 in the past. I've done 2 in the past, but 3 is kind of my sweet spot, mostly because the cards are either 5 or 6 fights, main cards. So I always feel like, all right, finding 4 bets or 5 bets on a 5-fight card can be hard sometimes. Like I don't have a plus money single for every fight. And if I did, it's throwing a shot in the dark. You're probably just going to end up wasting your money. You know what I mean? Like I could tell you like, ooh, I think this big favorite wins by first round knockout. And maybe that's plus money, but like, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket like that. I'd rather just take that guy by finish or take him by, take a money line or whatever. So I don't really know how it started, but I feel like I've been at 3 for a while now. And that's just kind of my thing. Personally though, I don't know how some people bet like every bet you throw in $10, let's say. I bet to win a certain amount each time. So like I want to win $20 with each bet. Now if it's plus 500 odds or whatever, I only got to throw in $5 and I can win 20. If it's plus, I might have done the math wrong on that. If it's plus fucking 200 odds, it's like, all right, I got to throw in 10. No, maybe my math is wrong. I don't know. You're getting my point though. I'll change however much I'm betting just to win what I want to win kind of thing. So in that sense, I don't have a budget, but I will say sometimes when I'm making like some of my prelim parlays that I'm not giving out, I'll like put one together and it's like plus 150 and I'm like, yeah, no, not high enough. So then I'll like change it around to get it to like plus 300 and like, whether that works or not, it remains to be seen. I probably not half the time, but I want them to be worth it. And I don't want to have to throw that much money to win the 20. So it's like the juicier they are, the less I got to throw on it. Because then you only spend about, I don't know, $40 a card, but you have the potential to win $20 each time you win a bet. Like math wise, I feel like that's the way to do it. You more bang for your buck. But main card minute bets, I'm just going 3 until further notice. Even the White House card, I think I did 3. But I remember there was a Derek Lewis card. Who the fuck did he fight? It was a while ago, like 2024, I'm talking. But Derek Lewis was the main event, and I had 4 bets on that, and I think I did okay. But I remember being like, that's the thing, yo. If I go 0 for 4 that night, I just lost 4 units. Like, fuck. That's a lot. I'd rather lose 3 units at the most. That's kind of how I feel about it. Thank you, Alex, though, for the question. Next up, we got our boy Danny Double D's. He said, what's an MMA finish that lives rent-free in your head? And then we got Melker, who said, headshot dead. I'll forever be pissed at looking at my phone when Anik uttered those cloth words. And then the Painting Dead said, Silva's face kick to Vitor. Dude, so rent-free in my head, like, what does that even mean? That's just like what's first to come to mind, I guess. I mean, the fucking Ngannou Overeem uppercut. Here's a story around that. I was working at the job I always talk about, my first job out of college, where we used to stream everything on UFC Fight Pass. So we were obviously streaming that card. I believe it was UFC 218. And I had a boss above me who I was in my 20s at the time. He was in his 30s. And another friend who actually eventually went to go work for the UFC, Frankie. Shout out Frankie. And us 3 were working this event. And I said to them, before Ngannou Overeem started, I said, yo, Ngannou's going to win. This guy's going to be a champion. And I was like a newish fan at the time. Like, they had been watching for like 10 plus years. I hadn't been watching that long. So they were always like big brothering me, like, oh, you don't know shit. You remember this guy? And they basically did that. They were like, yeah, right, dude. This against Overeem, like, this guy doesn't even have a fucking chance. We all saw how that went. So that lives rent free. And he went on to become a champion, by the way. For the record, I did call 3 champions to their face that year. One of them became a Bellator champion. One of them challenged for a title, and the other was Francis Ngannou. The other 2 were Damian Maia and Gegard Mousasi. I said those 3 were going to be UFC champions within a year. And I swear, if Gegard didn't leave for Bellator, he would have fought for a title. He was like top 4 and on a win streak. But Damian Maia was in one of the worst title fights in UFC history against Tyron Woodley. It was super fucking boring. But technically he got there. Or was it Usman? Who the fuck did he fight? No, I think it was Woodley. Yeah, it was Woodley. I think it was on the John Jones DC card. Second card. But talking about missing KOs, you know what comes to mind? And this is going to be kind of a deep cut, is Paige Van Zant and Beck Rawlings. If anyone remembers that fight, it was like a jumping switch kick, and it was fucking. I was dog sitting for my sister at the time, and I remember I had the fights on, and round 1 had just ended, and it wasn't even like an exciting round, and I was like, this shit's going the distance. And I was like, I'm gonna take a piss in between rounds, and I went to take a piss in between rounds, and I don't have the time in front of me, but maybe 30 seconds into the second round, Paige fucking knocked her out. Like, I came back to like Paige celebrating, and I was like, what the fuck happened? There's no way she knocked her out. Like, what? So I had to wait for the replay on that. A lot like Melker, the headshot dead moment, I tell myself I didn't miss it, but I kind of missed it. Same thing. I was like, probably like a lot of people, I was like, okay, this fight's going the distance. I walked into my kitchen where I can't see the TV, probably to grab a beer or something, walked in there, come back, and I feel like as I turned to look back at the TV was like the moment Usman fell. So I like saw it, but I was like, wait, what the fuck just happened? Like, I don't think I actually saw the shot he hit him with. I just like saw him go down and was like, what just happened? And I kind of had to wait for the replay on that. So those those will piss me off. Those have stories behind them. This is also coming to mind. I don't know why, but when it's not even a good knockout, but when Stipe TKO'd Overeem, and then Overeem was like, Joe, he tapped. That lives rent free in my head. That's just a hilarious moment in MMA history. Shout out Danny Double D's and Melker and Painting Dead for all commenting on that. Cosmo Kramer in the house again. He said, I asked New York Rick the same question, so I will ask you the same. Even though I know you aren't a movie guy, rank these New York-based movies. The Godfather, Home Alone 2, Raging Bull, Uncut Gems, and Coming to America. Yeah. All right. luckily for you, I've seen some of these movies. Do I have to admit which ones I haven't seen? That's for you to decide. Shit, man, I wouldn't even have known. Isn't Uncut Gems in Boston? It's in New York because he's got the whole KG. Don't touch the glass. Uh, Uncut Gems stressed me the fuck out, but I actually think that's like the purpose of that movie. Like that's what makes a good movie or TV show. It makes you feel some type of way, even if it's a bad feeling. So like getting anxiety from a movie to me is like, oh, they actually did a really good job. They made me feel anxious about it. So as much as I hated the way I felt watching that, I can appreciate that it made me feel that way. So Uncut Gems might be up there, but Home Alone 2, bro, that's got to be number one. Home Alone 2 has to be number one. Godfather, I want to say should be 2, but I also feel like I'm just playing into the fact that it's like a cult classic and not actually like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck that. Home Alone 2 is 1, Uncut Gems is 2, Coming to America is 3, Godfather 4. I've never seen Raging Bull, but I know it. What is it? It's Pacino and De Niro, right? Raging Bull. I think I've like heard of it. I've just never seen it, and I've heard it's really good, but I've never seen it. Yeah, I feel bad doing this. You got to hit me. I know some of these are comedies, but you got to hit me with comedies. You give me like a top 5 these comedies, I can do it. But yeah, man, I'm not just. I can't get into the movies like that. I don't know. But thank you, Cosmo Kramer. Next up, we got Melker again. He said, if you were not working in the MMA space, would you still be as engaged in the sport as you are now? Question comes from the fact I'm realizing because of varsity and writing at the paper, I'm watching way less fight nights than before. I'm losing my degeneracy. I think naturally the answer is yes. Like I would be less engaged, but I think that goes for anything. Again, I've worked at jobs where we used to stream like NHL games. I did not want to fucking go home and watch the NHL after that. I was like NHL'd out, I don't like I put it this way, I only stream the UFC events really with you guys, and I would just be sitting at home watching those anyway, so no part of me makes it feel like it's work or like, ooh, I have to watch this event. I really don't want to. If anything, it's become like a perfect excuse to watch everything. And that's all I mean by I think I would be less engaged is like a lot like do you think I would watch UFC Vegas 120 prelims if I like had if I didn't want to do a watch along? Probably not, dude. I'd probably be like, yeah, I'll read who won, I'll watch highlights on Twitter and whatever. And I think a lot of people in the space do that, and I think you guys can tell when they do that half the time. So I do enjoy actually watching them all, and I feel like that's why people are like come to me half the time and they're like, yo, what happened in this fight? I'm like, oh, dude, that. But then I also am drinking and smoking the whole time, and I don't know if that helps because then I forget what the fuck happened anyway. But yes, naturally I'd be less engaged. Also, like, dude, just in the grind of like today's Wednesday. I already start, oh no, Thursday. Thursday I start doing my research for next week. So like I'm already going to be looking at UFC 330 starting tomorrow. And that to me is some shit that I would never be doing if I wasn't working in the space. If I was just a fan, I would let fucking Saturday play out and then look ahead to next week. But I want to start getting that shit ready. So I have like a whole schedule of what needs to be done, what days and whatever. And again, I juggling 3 different fucking YouTube channels between Morning Combat, Main Car Minute, and Foes to Bros. And it's like, I don't know. It's a lot. You gotta allocate your time wisely. But that's the type of shit I wouldn't be doing if I was fucking not working in the space, bro. I'd be just Friday night. You'd catch me looking at the card for Saturday, like, oh, word, so and so's fighting tomorrow. Sweet, like I wouldn't even be. Yeah, I'd be way less engaged in that sense. Thank you, Melker, though, and good luck with the varsity and paper. True Blue Sports said 1 a.m. Australian Eastern Time. Yeah, buddy, I ain't tuning in live. Oh, you wasted the opportunity to ask a question there. You could have, but I feel you. I mean, again, that's why I put the post out. So my hope is if you're not going to catch it live, you can ask a question here and then you could come back, watch the replay, get your question. If you are here live, that's also the luxury. You get to ask the question live, which I'll get to soon, guys. We only got a few more of these left. Bullfrog Actual said, is LT calmer now that he is working with Chuck instead of BC? Chuck seems less argumentative and more agreeable than BC. How the fuck is Danger Mouse not a member? Danger Mouse. Danger Mouse is not a member because he's told me this before, because he has a branded account, which like this is a branded account. And oh no, I guess he could pay for it. Yeah, he could pay for it. You're right. He's fucking up. But he can't get gifted one. That's what it is. Like I can't get gifted one, and if I'm in someone's chat because it's a brand account, I don't know. It kind of sucks because I would like to get like an LT gifted membership or something. The only membership I have right now is One More Round Fights. Shout out Gav. But I pay for that. You know, I didn't get gifted or anything. And then the other question was, is LT calmer now that he was working with Chuck instead of BC? No, dude. I mean, Chuck might be less argumentative, but it's not like LT wasn't calm with BC or something. Maybe it comes across that way on the show. He's more calm, but if anything, getting Luke riled up is half the fun of the show, you know? So I do miss when BC used to get him going. Jed's good at getting him going, you know? And I try and poke fun at him all I can. Like at the end of the show when Jed's telling us that we hate women or whatever. I was like, now both co-hosts are telling us we hate women? What is going on here? But yeah, no, I disagree with I feel like everything is the same as far as whatever. We all obviously miss BC, but there's no like Luke's more calmer now or anything. Who we got next? Jay Ray said, can you please try to limit the AI slop on fan mail segments? I know that would limit the number of entries some weeks, but it just feels wrong to be propping that sort of thing up, even if it's well intentioned. Truth be told, Jay Ray, half the time I just go through the email and I see the subject is fan subs and I star it and then I move right past it. I take a look at them before we go live on Friday or Monday, whenever day it is, like when I'm loading up the show. But I rarely actually look at the email to see what's live. I just star it for our other producer, the North Korean censors, who then goes and makes them all and then uploads them for me. So if he skips one, I rarely notice because I'm not familiar with them. So he'll just send me like 20 or whatever, and I'll be like, all right, these are our 20. I don't realize there's 25 we got sent and 5 have been left out. I know that's not what you're asking, but to the point of the AI slop is like, I'm not really going through and being like, is this AI? Is that AI? You know, I get your point, but I also feel like as a show, and I appreciate you guys as fans who send in fan subs, it's fucking fantastic when I look at the email and I see we have a bunch of fan subs because I'm like, yes, I don't have to make a whole segment this way. You know, like Better Call Y'all and shit is a fun segment. I really enjoy doing that with like Luke and Jed, but it is very time consuming. It takes me like hours to think of like, ooh, I'll set up this scenario. We'll do this, whatever, you know? So especially for it to kind of be funny and shit, I'm trying to like really think of it. So when you guys send in fan subs, it's like, all right, great. That's one thing less I have to do, you know? So if they're all AI one week and there's plenty, I'm kind of like, well, saves me some shit. But I get what you're saying. Also, like for anyone who is using AI with it, you could dumb it down. Luke even says he appreciates the like lesser, like the bad photoshops and shit. Do that kind of shit. I don't know why I just like cut my head like that, but you know what I mean? Like you crop it, it's got like the square bottom. And yeah, there you go. That was technically our last question. There are 2 more here, but they're just repeats of the earlier question. I guess he clicked it too many times. Painting Dead asking if the Islanders are going to win with Schaefer. I guess if he asked 3 times, yes, they're going to win 3 times. So thank you to Painting Dead. All right, guys, now we can get to the live chat. Should I like take a bong hit? Maybe is that a thing we should do? That's fun sometimes, right? Yeah, that's fun. Oh shit, wait, we got some super chats and shit we got to get to. Hold on. First of all, Lazy Bed re-upped his membership. I saw he said he did it on his computer rather than iOS because iOS costs more, which is bullshit, guys. So for anyone who wants that loophole, do that fucking loophole. It should only cost you $1. It should never cost you more than $1. That's all I charge for the memberships. If you're getting charged more, it's because whatever device you're using is adding like a surcharge to it, which is bullshit. Shout out Sydney in the house. She said, shout out to you, Long Island. Shout out to you, Sydney. Thank you for the $2. I appreciate it. And then Saul came through and he gifted 5 fucking memberships. Let's go, Saul. Louisville's finest. I was like, I know I'm not saying that right. Louisville, Kentucky. Shout out. And then what's the name? Tom. I can't fucking read this, man. Tom Stenka? Is am I reading that right? I'm blind. Tom Tanaka. Tom Tanaka has been a member for 4 months. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you, brother. All right, guys. Let's go through the rest of these and see how everybody's doing. Oh, here's what Lazy said. He switched his membership to be through a web browser instead of iOS, YouTube, so I can pay $1 and not $1.50. Recommend everyone does that. Please, please. Thank you. Ain't got shit to watch, gang? Rolling up. Let's go. Come through. I didn't realize how much this theme slapped. Oh, the intro song, that's a Lazy Bed AI original. Speaking of AI slop, but it's still cool. It's still cool. Tuivasa to Spain in UFC 331. I know, dude. Will Tai Tuivasa surpass Tony Ferguson's record for losses? So does Tony have the record? I thought it was BJ Penn or Sam. I know Sam Alvey has a draw in there, but if you just go winless, Sam Alvey's at like 9 or 10. There's no way. Tony was like 7, I want to say. Let's look these up. Tony Ferguson is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fuck, my man lost 8 in a row. Let's check BJ. BJ was a draw, then 1, 2, 3, 7. So winless in 8 straight for BJ, but 7 losses. And then we got to check our guy, Sam Alvey. Sam Alvey was 4 in a row, draw, then 4 in a row. So winless in 9 straight. But yeah, Tony, I guess, technically has the longest streak. And now, where's Ty at? If Ty's at 6, oh my God, Ty's at 7. So 100% he's going to surpass it. Oh my God, he's going to lose. He's going to lose to Rebellis, and then he's going to have the record. How did that happen? How has he lost? I thought he was on like a 5-fight losing streak. 7? God damn. I guess there were 2 this year, and those add up. That's fucking crazy, dude. Oh my God. Long Island Live. L.I. Luke is live. You already know the question. What we smoking on? I still got that strawberry shit. Speaking of, since you asked, let's get this baby going. I was on the phone with Jake Von Amsterdam 2 days ago. Sorry, I had to grab the bong. And I just like closed a drawer, and it sound like there's like glass in the drawer that was like clinking together. And Jake's like, "Are you ripping your bong right now?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Dude, I totally hear you ripping your bong." I'm like, "Nah, dude, I was just putting my shit away." But the best part was I had just packed the bong and was putting the shit away. So, he was close, but I was like, "Are you accusing me of smoking marijuana? That's crazy." But not the craziest thing I've ever heard. Guys, did record a new episode of Prop Quiz yesterday, and for the second straight week, here's your insider info for those of you who join the live chat, because you guys are the real ones. Insider info of the week is it's 2 debutantes again, 2 brand new people, baby. Let's go. And thing number 2 is they both fucking killed it again. Like, you thought Alex versus Drake was impressive. This is also very impressive. This is really fucking good. So literally winner and loser, I think, could eventually beat Jose if they get there, put it that way. So that's exciting. And then I'm trying to also record another one later today for next week, really because I'm going to Oscar wrote something to me because he texted me and said, "Coward, answer my question." What did he write? I got to go back and find this now, Oscar. You're killing me. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, he sent money. Dude, he sent money. What a nice guy. Shout out Oscar Willis for oh, by the way, guys, remember we were all, those of you who were on the watch along, we were like, this is definitely Oscar's burner. It was Oscar the whole time. He told me, who's the gayest MMA media member? I mean, it's got to be Oscar Willis, right? Like, he's clearly, him and Dan Hooker, they got something going on. I don't know, man. Yeah, I'd probably, you got the earring too. I mean, isn't that why Sean Strickland said he was gay? Maybe that's who it is. Luke Thomas does always talk about getting fucked to death by an 8-dick walrus. There's that. He's texting me. Let me see what he said. Oh, he said, all right. He says it's Trent Reinsmith. All right, guys. That's who it is. That's the gayest MMA media member. I don't even know who that is, if I'm being totally honest. So, but maybe that just proves it. Maybe that really just proves it. Shout out, dude. LazyBed's been a member for 17 months and he just gifted 5 fucking memberships. Appreciate you, brother. Let's go, Lazy. Let's fucking go. I totally lost my train of thought. I know I was going to hit the bong, which I'm definitely ready to still do. Oh, it's prop quiz. Yeah. New episode's going to be a banger. Hopefully recording another new episode today. And I don't know, guys. Let's get high about it. Cheers. Appreciate y'all. Hopefully you didn't just see how dirty the water was. Don't rewind it. It's dirty. It's dirty. I didn't clean it. Cheers. Looking around for the bong gong, but realizing I don't have the setup for that right now. It's okay. It's okay. We move on. Long Island Luke Live. Is this members only jacket section of the live chat? Yes. You got to wear your, what's that called? Oh, Letterman jacket? Is that what it's called? Leatherman? One of those. David Letterman? Something like that. Seen the Odyssey yet? Oh, God, no. Can I also say I have no interest in that? I don't even know what it's about. I know everyone's hyping it up, but I know it has like a star-studded cast too. And Christopher Nolan is legit. Yo, the Prestige. The Prestige is a movie I've seen, and that is actually non-comedy. That's maybe the best movie I've ever seen. That's a banger. So maybe I should see the Odyssey. Isn't it like super fucking long too? Yeah, I have no real interest in it. I'm not gonna lie. Were there any fights in the crowd at UBS? Not that I saw, but as I was leaving, UBS Arena is like a mile, maybe not even, from the train station. And it's all within this like complex. So it's like walkable. You can easily walk it or you can get on a shuttle bus. I normally, like if I'm going to an Islander game, I get on the shuttle bus because we're normally rushing to get the next train. PFL, I had like an hour to waste. So I was like, fuck it. I'll just like slowly take the walk back. So I started walking back to the train, and there was like a group of like 6 guys yelling at one other guy, like, "Get back here, pussy. You're walking away, pussy." And that guy was like giving him the finger back. And I was like, all right, this kid's going to get jumped. It's like 5-on-1 here. But, and that shit always makes me like, granted, they were younger, they were probably in their 20s, but it just like, who goes to this shit to get into a fight? You know what I mean? It's like the same people who go out to a bar like trying to pick a fight. It's like, why? Like, if you want to fight someone, go fucking fight someone. Why do you I don't know. Why do you go to like public spaces and like try and start shit? It was just weird. So to answer your question, no, I didn't see any, but I'm sure there were some. Shout out Saul, who just fucking sent $2. Let's see what he's got. He said, Run to the back of my truck to hit the vape. Cheers. Let's go. Saul was like straight from the gutter to the back of the truck. Rip that, come back. His dad's like, yo, your eyes red? He's like, nah, dad. It's the gutter dust. You know, it's we're chilling. Shout out Saul. Hilarious that all Apex cards are the exact opposite of what Apex means. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's actually pretty funny. Do you like women's title fights? You may want tickets to MSG then. I mean, I'm probably gonna go to MSG regardless, but so you're telling me Kayla, Amanda, and then what? Valentina, Natalia? Because strawweight's next month or next week. So damn, that kind of sucks. Like I'm all for Kayla Amanda as a headliner, but they better stack the rest of that card. Give me fucking Navajo and Paulo Costa on that card. Give me Prates and Morales on that card. Give me I guess they would never do that because one of them is going to be fighting winner of next week. I don't know. You better stack that with some like real meat on the bones. Thoughts on the UFC 330 card? Pretty mad at me, dude. It is bad. It's really bad. And they finally, or at least Marcel tweeted out the full card yesterday. I always trust him for my I don't know how he knows this shit, but he'll have like the bout order and like UFC.com will have a completely different one. And then like the day before the fight, they like switch to his, like he knows exactly what it is. All right. So here we go. We got, they already switched it. They already switched it since when I first saw it. So obviously we know the main and the co-main. Now the featured bout, which by the way, they had this on the prelims at first, is Charles Johnson, Jose Ochoa, which like, it'll be fun. It just doesn't feel like a pay-per-view fight. Speaking of not a pay-per-view fight whatsoever, Mansoor Abdul Malik versus Dustin Stoltzfus, like they better fucking hope Abdul Malik torches him in the first, which he totally can, but like otherwise that fight's gonna suck. And then Edson Barboza, who just got his shit pushed in against Esteban Ribovic. Why did we put? They took Chidi and Njokuani versus Joel Alvarez off the main card for the Charles Johnson Ochoa. They should have took it off for Abdul Malik Stoltzfus because that belongs on the main card. Barboza Ribovic, I'm cool with because Barboza has the name value and Ribovic is probably gonna kick his ass and it'll be fun. Njokuani Alvarez should be a ton of fun. Alvarez should finish him, I'm thinking. Jalen Turner, Kyle Fernandez is like, okay. Dante Johnson, Eric McConico, hard pass. Vicente Luque, Trayshawn Gore. Trayshawn looked pretty good last time out. If he could finish Luque, sure, that's a nice win for him. If Luque wins, though, it's like, why the fuck did we even make this fight? Then you got, who's that? Rafael Tobias versus Fernando. I'm only reading the last names here. I don't know who the fuck Fernando is. It's his UFC debut, though. Neil Magny, Ramiz Brahimaj, they're putting on the early prelims. That, to me, you could swap Dante Johnson, Eric McConico for that. And then fucking Jeremiah Wells, Miktabek Oralbai is the curtain jerker. That's also really fucking stupid. What is this bout order? I feel like you could put Wells Oralbai on the main card and I wouldn't care. The card itself is clearly lacking main card oomph. But there's some fun fights throughout it, but I'm not even going to pretend. As someone who's going to this, as someone who's paying my own fucking money to travel to Philadelphia and stay in a hotel in Philadelphia, I'm actually very disappointed in this card, but I'm trying to make the best of it. Rip Nascimento, yeah, bro. Can someone explain to me what Tuivasa did to the UFC? They want to kill him, guys. I don't think they want to kill him. If anything, I think they like him. I get your point. Like, ooh, we want him to lose. We'll put him against it. But to me, it's more like we needed you to fill in on these Australia cards. And now it's like, all right, we're going to give you someone tough. If you don't pull through here, like we really got to cut ties. Cut ties with Ty. It's a bummer. I love Ty so much. But dude, 7 in a row. He should have retired fucking 3 fights ago, Noche is solid this year, right? UFC 330 and Gamrot Soul Killed are horrible cards. This weekend's really bad. Again, that fight is a banger. So it's all worth it in the end kind of thing, but yeah. Wednesday says, I like Wednesday morning. Nobody does shit for content on Wednesday. That's what I'm saying. We're on the same wavelength. I feel like we watch a lot of the same shows. So, like, I'm trying to just be where no one else is. I'd rather watch this than Ariel. Thank you. It's a perfect time for a live stream. Thank you. He's been getting cans lately. Side of he can't beat cans. Might as well have him fight a guy with a name. About 2 months of blue check mark for $5. Let's go. One time I saw Dennis from Submission Radio at Melbourne Airport, and I wasn't sure if it was him until I saw he was wearing Project Rock shoes. No fucking way. Dennis was hilarious. Me and him, right before we go live, his kid was like asking him something, and he's like apologizing to me. He's like, "Oh, hold on, and I'm like, dude, whatever. You got young kids. Go deal with your kids." Then he comes back. He's like, "You gonna have kids soon, Luke?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man. Maybe, whatever." He's like, "How old are you?" I'm like, 34. He's like, "How old are you?" He's like, 37. I'm like, "Oh, that's it?" I don't know why. I think it's because BC and Luke kind of like put me on to Dennis. Like they were always like, "I'm doing Submission Radio," and I was like, "Oh, I'll check out Submission Radio." And I always just assumed he was like closer to their age, younger than them, but closer to their age. So I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize Dennis was like, right around my age." It was funny. He took offense to it. I didn't mean any offense to it. It was just Dennis wears UFC rock shoes. No. Makes sense. Grunge came out of Seattle. Yeah, bro. And they have a whole museum there, like Museum of Pop Culture. And they had a whole Pearl Jam exhibit for years, and they don't have it anymore. We were just looking into it because I was like, yo, we got to go. My sister went like years ago. So I was telling my girlfriend about it, and then it's fucking closed. I think they still have like a grunge exhibit, but not Pearl Jam specifically. What's the least amount of money someone would have to pay you to only be able to watch prelims for 1 year? So I can't watch any main card fights. I can only watch prelims. I mean, why would anyone even want to like do that? Like to me, you know what I mean? Like what's the thrill of that? Like, haha, you didn't even see the main card. Well, I got to change the channel name to Prelim Minute. Shit, man, I don't know. Probably like 100K. That seems like a fair price. He had the sweetest swing in MLB. Ken Griffey Jr., a legend for sure. Let's go. The Sterling Zalal card was terrible. 11 fights went to a decision. Not to play into the overs joke that everyone loves now, but I had a great betting night on that card, and maybe the 11 decisions are why. I've been to every UFC event they had in Vancouver. There was lots. All right. Fair enough. Who the fuck is this? Sorry, I'm getting a spam text, and then I want to see this. All right. Finishes don't make a great card. Belgrade proved that, right? Belgrade kind of sucks. Nah, it didn't suck, but it like wasn't even one of my favorite cards this year. You know, what is your top 3 favorite fighters, current and all time, and what was it that got you into MMA in general? Great questions. Top 3 favorite fighters, current and all time. All right, so I can combine. I mean, they're all kind of above me. So you got Volk right here. You got Bobby Knuckles right here. And then third, I think, is Chris Weidman. So those would be my 3. If I'm going only current, I'll swap Weidman out for Marab. Big Marab guy. What got me into MMA in general was literally my job out of college. We used to stream for like UFC Fight Pass and all these things, and no one was really into MMA at that job except like one guy. I shouldn't say that. There were a bunch of people there into it, but like, I guess they didn't know who was into it. And they basically were like, "Hey, Luke, would you be down to start like doing UFC events?" And I was friends with the guy who was into it, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." Frankie, he works at the UFC now, and I was like, "Word, we'll do it." So I started watching a lot of events with him, and we're talking Cage Warriors, Glory, Shudo Brazil, Shudo Japan, fucking Pancrase, fucking what were some other ones? What was that one in Russia? XFN, uh, Eurasia Fight Nights. Maybe that's what it was called. Fucking, I don't know, just like any regional promotion that UFC. I'm talking like 2015 to 2021. Anything that was on Fight Pass, we would stream. And that includes UFC, by the way, because you stream that for international audiences. So any fight night, pay-per-view, road to UFC, even the weigh-in show we would have. And the fucking, what was the gambling one with like Yanni the Greek they did? Like a 30-minute show. We used to have to stream that. But anyways, so I started doing all that, got a little more into it. And then we had like a snowstorm in 2016. And I stayed, they like offered a few people. They were like, yo, if you stay in like a hotel across the street so that you can come to work and like still stream the events, we'll like hook it up. They didn't tell us how. And I was like, all right, word. They paid us like overtime essentially. But then they were also like, yo, Luke, because you came in during the snowstorm, we have tickets to a UFC event if you want to go. And I remember being reluctant, like, yeah, like I took them gladly, but I remember going to my friends and being like, I don't know, dude, I guess I'm going to go to this UFC event, like, and it was Anthony Johnson versus Ryan Bader at the Prudential Center. And I went with 3 other guys from work. All 3 of them were huge into MMA. I was definitely the biggest casual of the 3. This is in January 2016. And then we went first fight of the night to the last fight of the night. I fucking loved it. And then from then on was like, hell yeah, I'm on the pay-per-view this week. Great. And that was basically from like right around like UFC 190-ish on. Maybe you like right around Conor Aldo, UFC 189 or Conor Mendez, UFC 189 on. I basically streamed like every UFC event up until I left that job to go work at MK in 2022. Yeah, February 2022. So that's basically what got me into it. And then I just like at that job, I became the UFC guy. All those other people left, and I was like, been there for years doing every UFC event. That's when Gaff started doing the events with me. And then, like, then me and Gaff were the UFC guy. It was like that. Do you ever roll a slinky down those stairs? No, I don't know if it would work down those because it's a spiral, bro. How do you do a slinky down a spiral staircase? I don't think it would work. I don't have a slinky to try. But shout out slinkies. You know what the best part about a slinky is? Isn't putting it down the stairs. It's just holding it and like doing the accordion thing with it in your hands. Fuck a fidget spinner, bro. I want a slinky to just like maniacally like plot something like, yes, like I didn't even notice the stairs. How do you not notice the stairs? Yeah, there's a loft up there. You might see the cat run down at some point, Ruby, because she is up there right now. I had to leave the fucking door cracked. Probably the worst numbered card, 330 for sure, guys. Yeah, this year, because the 301 always comes to mind, which was Pantoja Ursag, and it was a bad fucking. It was like Anthony Smith, Vitor Petrino on the card. Like I think that might have been like the co-main. It was bad. It was a really bad card. Everyone loves a slinky. When are we getting the long-awaited Long Island Luke gets political channel? Never. Absolutely never. LIL Gaff Pierre. That's what I'm going to say every time you guys say LIL GP. Thoughts on prospect fight Boylan versus Ward on the PFL card? God, I don't know either of those guys. Who's Boylan and Ward? Let me look at this card. Landry Ward and Michael Boylan. Let's take a look at their record. Lone Star Kid, Landry Ward. He's an LFA vet, but he did lose. He's 2-2 in LFA. Don't love it. This Michael Boylan character does not have a headshot. He's from Iowa. hasn't really fought in any promotion worth noting. What are the odds on that? Because I'm actually intrigued, given what I just read about them, who the favorite is. Where the fuck is that fight? I don't see odds for it. I see odds for every other fight on the card, or at least it looks like every other fight on the card. I don't know, man. You picked like the one fight. I'm like, who? That's not true. I probably don't know a few people on the PFL card. But yeah, I didn't look into the PFL card whatsoever. But I'll just say, give me Landry Ward. Despite having 3 losses, Michael Boylan's just fighting on the regionals in Iowa. Man, I can't trust that shit. I can't trust that shit. Give me Landry Ward. He's been there. He's made the walk in LFA. He knows his shit. Jed is now a member? Oh, did Jed get gifted? Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Let's go. LIL, where can we find skateboarding footy? Been searching high and low. I mean, I could just fucking I could probably pull it up on this computer. Hold on. I'll pull up a video and I'll just play it on here. Imagine I get flagged for playing my own video. The most recent footage of me skating was posted 17 years ago, and it says Luke Nocita recent, as in like this was recent footy 17 years ago. If I can minimize this. Hold on, folks. Let me figure this out. Do that. And we will. I want that to be full screen. Yeah, there we go. All right, here we go. Let's do. All right. This is 17 years ago, folks. It's only like 30 seconds. Oh, we got a 50-50 down a 5 stair. Different angle. 5-0 down a 5 stair. It's in Kings Park, Long Island. Shout out. Brooklyn Banks here. Tray Flip Fakey. And then Chinatown Banks, which is also in New York City. We got Pivot Fakey, baby. Let's go. There it is. That's what you get. All right. What you know about that? Laying brick. Shout out Local One. Not a question, just a news nugget. Saturday's Apex card has a rare 2-man booth. Dan Helly and DC. That's how you know it. That's how you know it's a low budget card when they got the 2-man booth. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad call. In fact, when Anik and Cruz did it, it was one of the better calls. I'm just saying that's like real low. That's like, this card isn't even important enough for a third. Just you guys handle this. A LIL live chat is a perfect name. How is Ty still in the UFC? I thought it was to just fill the Australian market. Now I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Oh shit, we got a super chat. Hold on. Maybe a couple. Oh, we got Justin, who became a member. Shout out Justin. Degenerate MMA fan Max just gives 10 fucking memberships. Thank you, Max. Appreciate you, brother. Let's fucking go. And he also gifted $5 and said, when are we getting the MMA YouTuber season of Prop Quiz? I'll be like your version. Oh, it'll be like your version of Contender Series to get to the main stage of Prop Quiz. LOL. Eventually, dude. You know, I'm really exhausting all options with media at this point, where I'm like, I don't mean to say like that, but I'm like, who haven't I had on that I can still get on? Like, I feel like it's funny because I won't say who because they're going to be on in the future, but I hit someone up this week to be on, and they were like, I'm really busy this week. I'm really busy next week, but then I can do it. And I was like, no problem. Got you. But then I was like, fuck, that was like my last person I feel like that I still haven't had on. You know, I'm sure there's a few that I'm forgetting, but I'm just like, I feel like I've almost had like everyone in the space on. So we'll get there. We'll get there. But I also like I'm hoping to get the fighters. I've only had the one fighter respond, and it's been like 2 weeks now. Who knows if they'll reply again if I hit them back up, but I need an opponent for them. And I'm reluctant to be like, oh, it's you versus Gaff or something, like, and they're like, who? I want them to be like, it's you versus this other fighter. And they're like, I know that other fighter. Great, but we'll see. We'll get there. We'll get there. Thank you though, Max. Did you get any action in the couch? No, I was dating my girlfriend at the time. The couch was fucking terrible, bro. The couch was like in a like conference room, and it had the built-in like projector or video, so you could be in there doing a video chat conference call or whatever. And I was always sketched out that it was like filming me sleeping because I was like right in front of it, just fucking laying on the couch. Mando Nalo versus Nate Landwehr added to UFC Edmonton. Landwehr makes the move to 155. Good call. Totally winnable fight for Nate Landwehr. So in that sense, it's a good call. I don't know if 155 in general is a good call, but I like that fight for him. I'm cool with that. Mando's Canadian, right? I think so. Bro, guys, we just got shanked. They just gifted 20 fucking memberships. Let's go, Shank. Appreciate you. God, we get pegged, we get shanked, we get everyone's coming through. We got Max. We need to think of one for you. It needs to be short and sweet though. We got maxed. That could work. Hit the like button, freeloaders. Listen to Lazy, guys. Any new segments, parlays, features, etc. we can look forward to during the One More Round Fight Dana White Contender Series watch along in less than a week. I will say I am very hopeful, Lazy, that we can bet on them because if you guys remember the last 2 years we've done Contender Series watch-alongs, I've messaged DraftKings support, I've messaged FanDuel support. They don't offer lines on it. I don't know why. Other states have lines on it. Like Sleeto, shout out Sleeto in the chat half the time. He's been like, oh, I have Contender Series lines, and he's on DraftKings, but he's in a different state. For whatever reason, in New York, they haven't had it. So I'm very hopeful they've come around to their senses this year. Because like we get like BKFC now on DraftKings. So I'm like, maybe they've like worked their shit out. So TBD, fingers crossed. It's going to be a gaff run stream. So as far as segments, parlays, features, all up to him. He hasn't told me of anything yet, nor have I really planned anything yet. So I'll say no. More of just a Tuesday night. Let's hang out, watch the fights, get high, and check out these hammers. But I'm sure Gaff will have, low risk, high risk, all that stuff. Even if he can't fucking bet on it. Yeah, not high enough. LIL Daily. What platform is good for setting up custom parlays like you're describing? What do you mean? Units on the profit side is a common strat because it makes the risk of stake more conspicuous. Okay. I left the bar early before the Leon head kick. Oof. Is Jed going to be on MK more often? I'd like him to do UFC event reviews on Monday. No, Chuck is Monday. The only reason Jed was on this Monday was because Chuck is away with his family and was going to miss Monday. So Chuck is actually on Friday. Like it was basically a swap. Chuck was like, "Oh, I'll do Friday instead." So no. I mean, Jed, we love Jed, and Jed's obviously welcome, and he's clearly in the rotation, but Chuck's the Monday guy, because Chuck has the crack on Friday, so it's inconvenient for him to do it. But like because he had to bail on Monday, he's like, "Oh, I can do it Friday." I don't know if he's not going to do the crack or if he's going to just maybe we end at 12:45 and then he goes on them at 1. Who knows? Was at the bar watching Silva when he front kicked Vitor. Jed works full time on MMA fighting. Otherwise, I'm sure he'd love to be on MK more. That's true as well. I like Jed because he kind of meets the fun of BC without the whippets. Do you remember that singer, Mike Jones? Who? Mike Jones? Who? Mike Jones? 281-330-8004. Hit Mike Jones up on the low because Mike Jones about to blow. No, I've never heard of him. Did he address the Danger Mouse situation yet? Of why he's not a member? He ain't paying, bro. And I'm so many people get gifted memberships that I get it. You're like, ooh, I'll just wait to get gifted one. I get it. But he's acknowledged he has a brand account, so he can't get gifted one. So I understand it. I'm not blaming him. He's still a very supportive member of the community. Please no with the blind rankings. It wasn't blind. It was very open, but Juice is a good new bro. Juice is a fantastic movie. Tupac, New Jack City as well. Let's fucking go. Benny Blanco. Above the Rim in New York City too. No, probably. I don't know if I've seen that. Pacino and Raging Bull 2. Didn't realize. Is he? I don't even know. I might be wrong. You trying to piss me off? My favorite thing is people thinking they're degenerates for watching Apex cards. They should see my fight schedule. Luke, who do you think has a bigger dick, Romero or Till? I think Till only because Romero has definitely done too much juice where he's got some shrinkage going on. Yeah, Jed, we live chatting, and I'm answering questions like that. Joshua or Fury? I think I'm going Joshua, dude. I know he's chinny, but I feel like Tyson just looks so fucking old. At least Joshua looks good when he's in there. Before he gets dropped and shit. He's chinny, but before, he at least looks like he still has it. New member, Jed Michoud. Jed, we were just saying you're a diet BC without the icky. LIL with the live chat. Congrats. Thank you. Have you talked about Tuivasa to Spain yet? Yeah, but I'm just shocked it's 7 in a row right now for Ty. I thought it was like 5 in a row. I didn't think it was 7. It was crazy. This is live, guys. I don't know if you guys are I mean, I know Meat's joking, but I don't know if the rest of you are joking. Fusion Fight League has a 3-8 guy who boxed John Gotti III in their co-main this week versus a 47-year-old debuting Indian man. I'll be watching. Lazy watches, so we don't have to. I still don't believe mobile gets gifted either. Hey, Luke, is that a spiral staircase to your right? It is, Jake. Voila. Oscar, is this live? I need questions answered. Yes, I'm very far behind in this chat, but I know you eventually sent a super chat. LT used to crash out at BC all the time. Again, because BC would be poking the bear. It wasn't like real. Wasn't like, I don't know. It made for good entertainment. Exactly. Who is BC? Some dumbass with an internet connection. Lazy, remember the movie Kids? Oh, dude. Banger. Tully? And Casper? He said his dick, motherfucker. Bro, that movie's a classic. Brian Callen. My fan subs peaked last year. Very insightful with the Danger Mouse situation. And yes, I missed the hot dog eating clown BC. I love prop quiz. Can you do MMA Jeopardy Luke versus Jed? Didn't we already do Luke versus Jed? Also, LT, truth be told, guys, last time I tried to get LT on, which was like pretty recently, I was like, yo, LT, just come on. And he was like, I really don't want to. And I was like, please. And he's like, I really don't want to. He was like, I really don't want to. And then I was like, please. And he's like, you're acting like my daughter right now, asking me too much when I'm saying no. And I was like, all right, man, I'll remember this. So I don't know if we can ever get LT back on. I got to be honest. It sucks. But the way it's looking right now. Shout out to Shank who re-upped their membership and just sent 200 of that currency. Who wins in a slap fight? Oscar or Ben? Jed or BC? I mean, we've already, no offense to Ben, we've already seen Oscar slap the shit out of him. So I'm going to take Oscar there. Jed or BC? I think I got to take BC there. BC's just a giant human being. So I feel like, I don't know though, actually. I could see Jed being a good slapper. That one's a little more interesting. Do they go to decision in slap fight? Like that one might go to the decision. If like your slaps were harder, 10-9. I don't know. How does that work? But yeah, I think Oscar would would get Ben out of there. Sorry, Ben. Hey, Luke, on the members only post, you're missing some questions. I think comments are being sorted by top and it doesn't show all the comments that way. I went by whatever. What else were you seeing? Let me look. Post. Where is it? Oh, I just accidentally thumbs down on the post. If I sort by newest. Oh, I do. I see one about an ice cream flavor. I think that's it though. Yeah. The only other one I'm seeing is about ice cream. Oh, it's from you, Dorito. Oh, that's why. Favorite ice cream flavor, he says. Cookies and cream or coffee. Cookies and cream and coffee is an elite combination. In fact, when we go get ice cream, I'll get 2 scoops, 1 coffee, 1 cookies and cream. You're done. All right. Oreos are like one of the better cookies. So, you just add that to ice cream, vanilla ice cream, especially fantastic. Cookie dough is a good one, classic. I'm a sucker for the, like a twist, an old school, vanilla and chocolate twist. That's always good. But, yeah, cookies and cream or coffee, I would say. How many trucks top ladies of the night has BC's Paramount money already gone to this year? Over under 15. I'm gonna take the under on that. Take the under. Can you please limit the amount of Jed? It just feels wrong to be propping up that sort of thing. Propping up Jed? Oh shit! Thanks for the gifted sub. Did someone say bong hits? Did you see Darren Till versus Yoel stare down for BKFC? Yeah. I didn't cool, I don't know. Like, why are we acting like we're gonna get interested in this fight? Do you guys care about it? Sure, on fight night, I'll look up the highlights on Twitter, but I'm not gonna be like, gotta watch that live, guys. Till Romero. Romero's 46. I can't wait. I don't know how old he actually is, but he's definitely mid 40s. Thanks for all the hard work you do, LIL, not only on MK, but Prop Quiz. Thank you, MMA veteran. Thank you very much. 52 straight weeks of Prop Quiz. That is a fact, guys. 1 year. I got to look that up right now, actually. I mean, for a fact, it's been... Why can't I pull that up on this computer? That's man annoying. Let me pull it up on this one. I just want to see the first date that I posted one, and have we gone over a year, or are we like a week? August 15th was the first ever episode, 2025. So yeah, we technically need 2 more episodes to go past that date. But either way, Prop Quiz been around for a year. Kind of fucking crazy. We need a hint. Who are they? A clue. I mean, my clue was they're debutantes, From there you can guess away. Later today, the one I'm hoping to record, which again, still waiting on one person. At least I think I am. Is one new person, one not new person. I'll say that. Those are my 2 hints. But also, I haven't recorded that one yet, so we might be talking about an episode that doesn't even exist. What the actual fuck? That is what you get for drinking out of a damn shoe? Oh. I thought you were accusing me of drinking out of a damn shoe. Self-reporting? My money's on Okamoto. Too pretty. Obviously, Oscar Willis. Leopard print shorts. You don't know Trent? You ain't in these streets. This chunk of ham needs to remind me, y'all, to change the bong order. Yeah, mine was pretty bad too. Do you fill your bong with crude oil? Yeah. Yeah, make it extra black. That's good. Give us a hint on Friday's prop quiz of the contestants. They're both debutantes. All right, guys. That's the question. Or that's the hint. Sorry. Would go for a bong here right now, but I got to update these spreadsheets. You can do both. What happened to just smoking joints, JK? We can smoke a joint. I prefer no joints. You're just adding paper to weed, you know? Bong is at least glass. Has Tai Tuivasa lost so many times in a row that people have forgotten the shoey? We have a shoey emoji, and we'll never get rid of it. Twisted tea for bong water? Oh, God. Is LIL someone else who didn't learn about Homer and Greek literature in school? Why'd you make that assumption? Because I don't want to see the Odyssey? Am I the weird one for cleaning my bubbler after everyday use? No, you're the productive one. You're the only, like, good on you. I'm jealous. Anytime I get a new one, which is rare, but if I get a new piece, I clean it for the first like week every time. And then just takes like one time of being a little lazy. And then next thing you know, you haven't cleaned it in a week. I usually clean mine once a week. It's bad right now, though. I will say that. Oh, we got another thing from Shank. They said, did you ever confront Jose about the cheating allegations in the comments? What was the explanation, if any? So I did on the first time it happened. I don't know if people just run with the Jose narrative now that like there was that one. The first time against Aaron was the time it was sketchy. So I brought it up to him the next time he was on and was like, "Yo, by the way, everyone was saying this." And he was like, "Yeah, I just found that out on Submission Radio yesterday." So I guess someone in the comments on Submission Radio was like, "You're cheating" or something. I don't know. But that was the game he got very defensive in a good way and was playing with his hands on his head and still won. So I feel like that put it to bed a little bit, but yeah. I mean, I'm not. If you cheat in the game, you know, put it this way. I think we're all judging you more than it's not doing you any favors if anyone is. You know what I mean? It's just like there's nothing good that can come from it. Even if I don't notice in real time, everyone's just going to be like, "Wow, that person cheated. They're a loser," you know? So I don't think he did, but I clean my bubbler regularly, at least once a week. Good on you, bro. Saw a few fights in the crowd at UFC Louisville. My problem with going out drinking is I am liable to get pissed and talk shit to someone and make them want to fight me or jump into a fight that has nothing to do with me. See? Why, J Ray? You know, why? Just hang back, you know? Hey, Jed and Luke, what if Jake does 4 ounce kickboxing like one championship? Do you think that would help MVP get bigger? Nah. I mean, I don't, who cares, you know? I think if you're Jake, don't be teasing with, "Oh, I'm gonna come and compete in MVP MMA." No, continue doing your boxing shit, and be the Dana White of fucking PFL. Be a spokesperson. You know, there you go. I think that's all they want from him. It's like when fucking BKFC aligned with Conor McGregor. It's like we just need him to like promote. That's it. I don't think you need him fighting in it, but I don't know. Marcel knows ball. Work for the same company that you work the news at, just in a different department. Glad to hear you're doing better stuff now. Can't say the name, LOL. How do you know? I mean, there's more than one news station in New York City. Maybe I've mentioned it before. Barboza opened as the favorite versus Ribovic? Nuts. Is it still? Might have to hop on that right now. Let's take a look. No. Holy shit. I think that was a mistake. Because I'm seeing he opened at plus 245 and then 15 minutes later was minus 300. Unless it was just bet down that quickly. But then I'm seeing other books that immediately had him as minus 400. Yeah, so I think that was just a mistake with one book. Bet online, to be specific. Either way. I mean, minus 400 sounds probably about right. Did John Anik boof a vape into Serbia? If not, who at the UFC is most likely to boof a vape to maintain the herb smoking abroad in a foreign country? Fuck if I know, man. Is weed illegal in Serbia? Like, I don't even know. I don't know, dude. Fucking Felder? I don't know. Who blazes? I really don't know on the team who's like that. Most anticipated fighter on this season's Contender Series? God, I don't even know who's gonna. I know Bilal Hassan's fighting on it. I'll say him because that's the only real person I know that's fighting on it. There might be other names I'm familiar with, but I don't like have any idea who's on it. Dennis has been around forever. It's easy to think he's older than he is. You should have Hayden Iverson versus BC on Prop Quiz. I don't know who that is. Oh, so that's what had him wrecking you for calling him old? Yeah, yeah. What's the worst fight you've ever seen? Fucking Ngannou Lewis. Or Rose Esparza 2. I will say for Rose Esparza 2, and this is one of those fights that is tainted by betting, I had Carlos Esparza money line. And while everyone was like, this is the worst fight ever, this sucks, I'm sitting there cashing like a plus 250, loving it. I will say I was in the same room as Gaff, who had, he like literally was winning all night and then was like, I'm throwing it all on Rose. And he was in a very somber mood, so I had to like internally celebrate Carlo winning, but it was good. Side note, BC's albums I love vids deserve more love. I agree. You know what the tough part about them is? He should. I know his channel is the Brian Campbell Experience, and it's just all things Brian Campbell, but it really was a combat sports channel, and now he's like completely changing his niche to music, which is fine for fans of his, but it algorithm wise, I'm sure there's a lot of people who just subscribed for the boxing or the MMA and then are like, what the fuck is this? So that's probably why it's doing bad. Like he'd almost be better off doing like a Brian Campbell music channel and just growing like a music only audience. But I'm saying that with hindsight. I wouldn't have thought that before he started posting it. I'm just thinking maybe that's why the views are down. Are you a Tony Hawk Pro Skater or EA Skate game fan? Of course, both. So, I mean, Tony Hawk I had all the way up until like American Wasteland, I want to say. Like I had 1, 2, 3. Was there 4? Yeah, 4th, Underground 2, Wasteland. I think that was the cutoff. All for PS2. And then maybe that's what it was, yo. Maybe they stopped making them for PS2, and that's when I was like, I can't do this anymore. But then I got an Xbox 360 and I had Skate, like the OG. And now I still have an Xbox 360 and I have a Skate game. I think it's Skate 3. But Skate was cool, but it pissed me off because I wasn't good at it early. Like when I first started playing it, I remember being at a friend's house playing it and being like, yo, I'm literally better at skateboarding in real life than I am at this video game, which no one would ever be able to say about Tony Hawk. You know, like Tony Hawk, you're instantly just doing any fucking crazy revert to manual, all this shit, like all this impossible shit. Skate was like hard to learn. Once you get the hang of it, it's obviously then you can be as good as you are at Tony Hawk and shit. But both of those are a ton of fun. I grew up playing Tony Hawk, man. That's the shit. What's the dubber parlay? Is this the paid portion? Is this new? Yes, this is only the second time I'm doing it. And I think I'm gonna do it every week, you know, depending on turnout. And if you guys keep asking questions and shit. But if it starts to like fizzle, I'll just be like, all right, maybe we do it once a month or something. But I feel like during the watch alongs, I never have a chance to really like, I don't know, share my opinion on a lot of things without taking away from the fights. Trying to focus more on the fights, less on the chat per se, or we'll say the extra talk. So I'm saving that for here. I agree. BC's album ranking deserves more love. What's good, my integers? Double parlay means everything to me. BC needs to bring back rambles. I know, I wish. BC contractually can't come back to the rambles or go on MKR prop quiz. Yeah. Lazy, it's maybe my least favorite aspect of the Paramount deal. They took our boy from us. What about Ryan the masturbator? I saw him get finished by Rumble Johnson. Where there's a will, there's a way. Send that slinky down the staircase. LIL putting in work. We appreciate it. Thank you, brother. When does Contender Series start? This Tuesday. So six days from now. Yeah, next Tuesday. Yeah. Troy Landry from Swamp Ass People. Thoughts on Long Island prospect Mike? No, come on. Oh, wait. I thought you wrote uterus. I'm like, are you trying to make me say something stupid? I don't know this guy, though. I got to be honest. What up, Rundum Cheeks? Bilal Hassan on week 1 next Tuesday. Keep your eye on that kid. Kings Park. Remember exploring there back in the high school days? Someone got stuck in the hospital window and we left him there. That was everyone. Like the only reason anyone ever went to Kings Park was go to the psych ward. For those wondering, it shut down. It was an old psych ward and or mental institution, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And it was all run down. And everyone I knew from Kings Park knew how to get in there, and they would all drink in there. That was like the high school, like, you know, too young to drink at your friend's house. We're 17, 18. Let's go drink in the psych center. You know, it was like, I never really went there. I used to go skateboarding in Kings Park all the time, but I would take the train from Northport, where I grew up, and I would just get it was one stop on the train, and it was $2.50 at the time. $2.50, which was fucking phenomenal. And I had a bunch of friends in Kings Park who skated, so I would just, whether they came to Northport or I went to Kings Park, we would always just take the train, meet up. Half the time we were skating at the train station anyway. Kings Park train station, board slid that 5-stair handrail. Let's go. Used to skate the 7-stair as well. It's the biggest hill I bombed. I mean, I've never like measured a hill or anything, you know. I don't know. Not much of a hill bomber, you know. That's like a longboarding thing, I feel like. But don't get me wrong, there were definitely times, especially when we got a car. As soon as we got a car, I don't know why, we would just go like randomly drive around and be like, yo, let's bomb this hill. Or like someone would park at the, like you'd get one of your friends to drop you guys at the top of the hill and then you'd go meet them at the bottom so you didn't have to walk back up the hill kind of vibe. That was cool. But I feel like that's way more of like a West Coast thing with all the fucking hills, you know? But yeah, the neighborhood I grew up in had a bunch, you had to go down these huge hills, but I got so used to it that I would literally like push as hard as I could going into them to just gain as much speed as I could. Like, cause I knew you were never like, you never got speed wobble on it. Even like it wasn't that steep. So it looked like you were going to get hellacious speed wobble, but I would just fuck with. I also kept my trucks tight as fuck. Nice skating, Luke. I never stuck a trick. Damn. Such a good roller skater. I know nothing about that, but I'll race you on Heelys. Hey, yo, my man can shred. Let's go. Luke kind of sick. How about a 5-question max streak on prop quiz, then mandatory switch to the other contestant? Would force them to change their strategy on cherry picking all the low point, easier questions first. The only reason I'm even slowly considering this is the last couple episodes have been crazy streak-wise with certain people, but I also don't feel like you should be punished for fucking answering more correctly. And then, like, it's just going to work out in opposite order. If I go, you have a 5-question streak, you're like, all right, let me pick all 500s or something, or 400, let me get all these bigger ones. But then the next someone's going to have a 5-question streak where they got to cherry pick the low ones anyway. You know what I mean? It's like, no matter what, those questions need to be chosen at some point. So I don't know. I'll take it with a grain of salt, because I feel like if this continues to happen, maybe I'll look into it. But for now, I don't think people should be punished. Shaw versus LT, the prop quiz BAPA weight championship. Bro, I would have Shaw on if I could get him on. I don't think I could. Am I the only one who thinks if they made some kind of stand-up fight with 4-ounce gloves, it would be fun, the higher level UFC fighters, or am I crazy? Might be. Aljamain will do prop quiz. I don't know. I hit up Aljamain. He didn't answer me. We just got shanked. Nate the Train. Pound the like button. Jesus. Contender Series will be on one more round fights. Damn, a 20 piece? What a bro. Who doesn't love crack? Here we go, evil. Here we go. Pete is on holidays, no crack on Friday. Oh, good call. All right, yeah, so Chuck's good to go then. Cody Steele out versus Gage Young for UFC Sacramento. I didn't even know they were fighting. I did reference Cody Steele, though, in the episode of Prop Quiz we dropped yesterday. Lazy Pet, those are both porn names you're playing. Hey, if you saw how much I live on, you wouldn't be asking me for any money, LOL. I'm not asking you for any money, bro. Luke looks like a model in the thumbnail. Lazy, schedule is just watch everything. Do you get paid from MK? Yes, dude. You think I work for free on fucking MK? Of course I get paid. That's literally how I pay my rent. In fact, I've said on this show before, if MK went out the window, I would have to get a real job. I'd have to go back to working at like a new, somewhere that I'd have a fucking 5-day-a-week job, because Foes to Bros and Main Card Minute are not funding my rent or anything, my life. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I live a lavish life. I'm literally talking like I'm fine as long as I can pay the rent. I make more than that right now, which is great, but if MK went away, I'd be worried. Luke, curious to know what MMA fight got you into MMA. I kind of brought this up earlier. I essentially just started doing every event at my job. We had to cover UFC, and then I went to an event, and that's what kind of just hooked me. It wasn't like one fight in particular that I was like, wow, now I'm into it. But again, just what the reality is like anytime you know the fighters and you know their backstory and you know like, oh, that's that guy from this place. He trains with so-and-so. Oh, he also fought so-and-so. Like when you can build like a story about them in your head, that's what gets you invested in a sport, If you turn on a random, there's a reason you don't watch like, I don't know, fucking Canadian football. Maybe some people do, but like you would turn on a game. You might be the biggest NFL fan, but you turn on the CFL and you might be like, I don't fucking know any of these guys. Like this kind of sucks. I know nothing about anyone. You turn on the NFL, you're like, oh, that's that guy who came back from that injury. That's that guy who just signed that big contract. That's the guy who's dating that model. Like You know these people, so you're invested in them. So I just feel like after like 6 months, we'll say, of like doing every UFC event at this job, you start to like, oh, I've seen that guy fight before. Oh, that's the guy who did this last time, and you start to like whatever. So I would just say just being forced at first to watch it through my job, but then eventually just falling in love with it. I don't know. When is Long Island Luke Gets Political channel coming? Never. Um, looking for questions. Caramel and chocolate mixed into vanilla ice cream is my favorite that I recall. That does sound good. Basically, Luke has invented tea and biscuits in ice cream form. Yes. Eat BC's diet for 1 year or match Oscar's partying for 1 year. I'd go BC's diet because I actually think BC takes care of himself at this point. Also, I eat pretty shitty. So, like, granted, I'm not eating gas station hot dogs, but I don't think BC is at this point either. So, I think that would actually be the good thing. If it was only drinking Oscar partying for 1 year, I'd be like, let's do it. But, it's all those extracurriculars that would have me like, oh, I don't want to put my body through all that shit. Hey, LIL, hope your day has been good so far. Thank you, brother. It has. Romero is 48 going on 20. That is fucking crazy. Foster Bros needs to start doing Premiere. I always miss it. Dude, so I always wanted to do a Premiere because I Premiere Prop Quiz. I like to like watch you guys react to everything. I mean, Prop Quiz is a little different. You guys are answering the questions and shit. But I said that too. I was like, we should just do the show live. They were like, well, let's pre-record it. Okay, I'm fine with that. Then we premiered it at first, but then Oscar was saying, I believe him because Oscar, runs the Mac Life essentially, YouTube. He said that if you don't premiere it, it always does better. And I was like, shit, are you telling me I shouldn't premiere Prop Quiz? And he's like, yeah, maybe not. But I still like the premiere for Prop Quiz. I feel like it's a little different than a video. Also, like, I don't know. I do want to test it, but I also like whatever. So that's why they just release it. And I'm fine with that. I mean, as long as it's doing well, I don't really care. But we haven't been good with I feel like we've had different time, different day, different whatever. So we got to get better at being consistent with it. Hard to get excited for Till Romero. I see Romero missing weight and Till refusing to fight. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Shout out Sleeto in the house. He's been a member for 1.5 years. Let's fucking go. And then we got Justin who gave him $2. Shout out Justin. He said, Tommy McMillan is a superstar. Do you guys remember they said this when Tommy just won? Pissing me off. Blew my mind. Blew my fucking mind. Shout out Devin Tuck for the $2. He said, most annoying guest on MK Diaries? MK Diaries? Like room service diaries? Most annoying guest? Fuck, man. None of them were annoying, honestly. All of them were really cool. And you have to remember, I only did the ones in the Jersey City studio. Because, like, they did a couple in London, they did a couple in Vegas, and they did a couple in Fort Lauderdale or something, wherever the CBS, Sanford. And, shit, man. I don't know. They were all cool, honestly, all super friendly. I want to give you a good answer, but I don't really have a good one. But I appreciate the $2 either way. What was your introduction to MMA and who were your favorite fighters when you first got into the sport? All right, I mentioned the introduction already. I know this question is from 20 minutes ago, so I'm going to assume you heard that. Favorites fighters when I first got into it? I liked Aljamain a lot. Like, we're talking like Funkmaster Aljo, like big chain, like the flat top, like I was like, hell yeah, that guy's cool. I'm trying to think of more like fighters that aren't around anymore, but that back in the day, I was like, that guy. I liked Cub Swanson a lot, although I did make fun of his tattoos, at least the palm trees. Um, who else? I mean, mostly because I blindly just back the Aussies, but I was on the Robert Whitaker and Volk hype train from their debuts. I remember being like, this is the guy. I will say Gaff was on the Izzy hype train from Izzy's debut. Because I remember it was Izzy, Rob Wilkinson, and I was like, Kiwi versus an Aussie, I'm going the Aussie. And then Izzy fucking showed out. And Gaff was like, I'm telling you, bro, this guy's sick. I was like, okay. Turned out to be correct with that. Yeah, I don't know. It would just be like Long Islanders, Australia, same people I backed today, honestly. I tried making a Foes to Bros jingle, but I can't think of any nicknames for Oscar. The Grouch? Something about cocaine? Sniffles? I don't know. Are we giving Ilya a pass for his sus behavior? So what? I loosely saw this. He's like in the club, like not grinding on someone, but like all like him and some guy are like really touchy. I don't know, man. Spanish culture, who the fuck knows? I'll give it somewhat of a pass. If you manage to convince LT to do prop quiz again, surprise him with Jay Aaron as dude. He would rage quit like he would see Jay and then his connection would just log off. I'd be like, Luke, you there? He'd be frozen. I will just say, since he told me he's not going to fucking do it, it was Luke versus Chuck, which obviously, like, naturally is a fucking matchup we need to have. They co-host a show together every Monday, most Mondays. So yeah, Chuck. I mean, Chuck didn't even get to answer. I was like, "Yo, can you guys do prop quiz this week?" And LT was like, "Oh no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it." Chuck just sat there and watched me get upset about it, and then it's like, all right, never mind. Guess I'll move on. Luke, I have no clue what the Odyssey is even about. Facts. I did an entire episode. Oh, he did an entire episode of The Sands Visible. Also, Luke, why do you assume I didn't learn about the Odyssey? I don't know. The way you worded it was different. My wife and I just bought a volcano. It's the best way to smoke. Trust. Dude, I had a friend with a volcano. I felt like it was overhyped. I don't like the high you get from a vape. It doesn't feel, to me, it's like edible high where I'm like, this isn't what I think of when I thought I was gonna get high. This isn't doing it for me. I need to get the high I thought I was gonna get. So not the biggest fan of it, but they are dope. Going through these. Thoughts on a certain manager clearly only allowing his clients to go on Submission Radio MMA Junkie if they agree to have him on as well. Who could you possibly be talking about? I didn't notice it with Submission Radio. I did notice it with MMA Junkie only because I saw the interview with said manager and was like, why is he interviewing him? But then I was also like, all right, I guess you could get some stuff out of that. And then I also saw Islam being interviewed by Junkie, so I see what you're saying. I mean, where else is he gonna go? He burned the bridge with Ariel. He probably doesn't like MMA fighting because that was once associated. Like, who knows? Yeah, I don't know. Like, where else are you gonna go? I guess. Right. As far as interviews, what are the biggest outlets? It's like Ariel, Submission Radio, Junkie, fighting. No one else really does interviews, I feel like. If they do, they're not like, I don't know. Um, we call Long Island Luke LIL. It reminds me of Phil and Lil from Rugrats. Let's go. Big Rugrats guy. Thoughts on a daily double for prop quiz? I've been considering that. I like the idea of that, but it sucks that I don't want to manipulate it, but it sucks that I can't manipulate it because I only really want it to benefit a losing player. I don't like the idea of a daily double and a fucking someone who's already just dominating gets it and now they get double the point. I would do it that way too. I would do like it's worth double the points, but you don't, not like a true daily double where you like wager. I don't know. Bro, Jose's a genius when it comes to MMA knowledge or past events. Don't doubt him just because you have the memory of a goldfish, my brother. To be honest, again, the last 4 contestants on Prop Quiz, Alex and Drake, that episode's already out if you guys want to go check it out, and then the one I just recorded yesterday, they all fucking like blew my mind with how this, by the way, I'll say this as well as this is a preview for tomorrow's episode. Friday's episode. Quickest episode in Prop Quiz history. That's how fucking like you guys who play along in the chat are gonna have trouble keeping up. That's how like I ask the question, they know the answer. I ask the question, they know the answer. Like crazy. Reptar, shout out. Billy Quarantillo versus CDF co-main is crazy. It's not co-main worthy, but it's a fun fight, man. I kind of like Billy Q as a dog, and it's really just because CDF is old. Like Billy's not a spring chicken. Billy's 37, but CDF's old, was finished in his last fight. Billy Q took some time off. I feel like, I don't know. I didn't have the heart to take it I took fight does not go the distance, but I like Billy's chances there. LIL's favorite phrase. It's not over until it's over. If you know, you know. Let's go. It's not over till LIL sings and the overhit. BC makes music. No, BC does BC plays music on the side, but I don't think he makes music. He is counting down the top 50 albums over on the BCX, Brian Campbell Experience. And he's like doing one video, like album number 50, this album. And then he'll do like a, 15-minute video on it. So he's released a few. I think he just came out with 47, I think. Album 47. I've never been to a UFC or PFL event. Did the Long Island PFL event meet your expectations? Yes, but I also I win as media. So it's a little different. Like I'm not paying any money to go. So I'm not like, if the fights suck, I'm not going to be disappointed. You know what I mean? I'm there to I was really just live tweeting. That was the only thing. And I was in Gaff's chat. He was doing a watch along the whole time. I was really just there tweeting. Even Rick came up to me and I was in Gaff's chat. He's like, "What are you doing? You're doing a live thing?" And I was like, "No, I'm just watching my boy." And he's like, "Gaff?" And I was like, yeah, nice. But yeah, so I was just chilling. I enjoyed it, but I could see if you paid money being like, this kind of sucked. I will say it's worth going, like any sporting event. It's worth going to once to see how you like it, kind of thing. Some people fucking love it. I think it's always better to just watch on TV unless you have like the best seat in the house. Like shout out my boy Kyle, who I used to work with, was there. And he showed me, I saw him like getting onto the train after. He showed me his seat. He was literally front row, cage side. He was next to Ali Abdelaziz, funny enough. And that to me is like, that's a dope experience. If you can sit fucking front row, yeah. Or if you could sit a little raised up in like the 100s, that's perfect too. I was on the floor in the back. So like as soon as anyone stands up, I can't see shit. I'm looking like that all night up at the Jumbotron, you know? Dude, American Wasteland was always my favorite, or Thug 2. Thug 1 was the best one. Thug 1, you get sponsored, you get to pick which team you want to join. Oh, that was the fucking illest one. Yeah, they did just come out with a Tony Hawk remake, but I don't think I have a system to play it on. LAL, look up the single cover or video for Ralph Tresvant Sensitivity and tell me that's not Lerone Murphy. It's hilarious how much they look alike. Definitely the same person. Lerone was a ladies' man. What is this? Sensitivity. I mean, I got to be honest with you. It looks loosely like Lerone Murphy. I mean, that was not. I, I don't know. Low key, little racist. Just saying. Just saying. Like, wait, so Anik and commentators can have pods and fighters can have pods, and Dana can go on pods and say stupid as fuck shit, but BC can't. I don't know what the deal is. All I've said is that Shaq Majori asked permission, requested to come on Prop Quiz, and they denied him. What I also know is we've reached out to BC and been like, want to come back on MK, blah, blah, blah. And it hasn't happened. And BC has been like, I'd love to come back on. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So I think we can all figure out what's going on here. But, that's for you guys. I think you guys have put it together, but I'm not saying that. The MK Thrasher shirt was sick. I think they just discontinued it at the end of July. Yeah. We re-released everything for July and then everything is gone now. So we're gonna have new merch, which speaking of, I gotta fucking get on top of that. We have new merch coming out Friday. Should be 2 shirts and a poster. So will the UFC start to show all the walkouts and in between round coverage again? I can't believe that's mostly gone, and I don't think it's coming back for at least the length of the Paramount deal. So you're watching on Paramount or whatever. If you watch on Fight Pass, which I know is a regional thing, and I have basically I have a Fight Pass account. I can watch every walkout and all in between rounds and shit for every fight, and I do. So it does exist for international audiences. Like anyone who's watching on Fight Pass is seeing all that shit. Paramount uses that as an opportunity to play ads, but so did ESPN. ESPN used to fucking cover walkouts and in between rounds as well. So that's just the nature of advertising, but they do still exist. And the commentators are commentating that whole time. They do like a quick reset. They pause for 10 seconds, and then when the tail of the tape comes in, that's the reset. That's why your shit goes to commercial break and comes right back on the tail of the tape. Who will they match Umar against? And who in the top 10 do you think are easy and tough matchups for him? It's a good question. Let's take a look at the media rankings because fuck the meta. So Umar's third. Marab and Yan is going to take place. Do you do Sean and Umar? I don't think the UFC would do it because they love Sean, but that to me is like the the answer. Like, yeah, because he's already fought Mario. He's already fought Corey. He's fighting. Oh, he's fighting Song Yadong at the end of the month. So we gotta. I mean, he's probably gonna win, but we gotta wait and see what happens with that. Eamon. David Martinez is fighting who? Cheeto Vera or something soon? He's fighting someone. Or Dan Ige? Might be fighting Dan Ige. Either way, you could do winner of that. I don't know, man. He's kind of in no man's land. He's like in the Imavov spot where it's like, okay, you're like probably a title challenger. You might even deserve it, but like we don't love your style and there's like a fight ahead of you. Do guest co-hosts other than Chuck get paid for appearing on MK? That is a good question that I don't know the answer to. I'm not the one who like deals, you know what I mean? Like Payment is all handled through All the Smoke. I deal with my person with that. It's not like an MK direct thing. And I'm not the one who's like, hey, Jed, come on MK today. Like our other producer does that. He might be like, hey, I don't know. Shout out Kings Park Insane Asylum. You ever shred any sick wave, dude? Almost got arrested there a couple times, and I stopped going inside. Tripwires almost got me caught. Max Streak is no good. You need to get an automatic shot clock after you get 5 right. Ooh. See, that's a good idea, Kyle, but that's so much. It's hard. It's hard for me to do. That way, if you're really good, you can keep it going, but there is some deterrent from just clearing the whole board with no chance for the other guy to get a word in. But I also feel like the shot clock being implemented after 5 would then make me cherry pick 100s. Like I need a quick answer. I'm not going to pick a 400 if I'm being shot clocked. So now I'm just going to clear out 100s, 200s, 300s. You know, like I almost think that would. It also would go a lot quicker, which, like I said, this episode this week is going to be the quickest one yet, but really just because of how fucking good they were. But I want them all to be like 30 minutes ish at least. So Jose just bombs the high point questions anyway. What is MK's best selling t-shirt? That's a great question. They were actually, if anyone looked last month when they were all re-released, they were in order of best selling. So number 1 is actually Whippets. Number 2 was the Thrasher. And number 3, I think, was MKTV. I believe those are the top 3. Of the ones that are like I think the evergreens like this one might even like beat all those, but only including the re-released ones. Just needs to be harder to keep a streak going so a guy isn't winning because he got to go first. True. Prop quiz is ripe for a lucrative sponsorship. Yeah, I fucking wish, dude. I've tried. Trust me. I've reached out to all the typical brands that sponsor typical MMA channels, and I can't get fucking shit. A few have been like, "Hey, you just don't have enough of a following," and that's fair, and I appreciate that. Like at least they reply. Other ones just don't even reply. It's like, did they even see it? You know. Ask Smiling Sam Alvey to be on Prop Quiz. He's always replying back to DMs. Dude, that would actually be great. But he needs to be with like some other happy-go-lucky guy, you know. This is the thing where it's hard with the fighters. It's like, okay, Sam Alvey, but it's like who is Sam Alvey friends with? Like who's another, you know, at least when you go like Aljo, I can be like, okay, there's Marab, there's Weidman, there's Frivola. You know, you could think of like who he trains with. LIL, in hindsight, which was held up better and why? Super Mario or Sonic the Hedgehog? Explain your answer in depth. Oh, which has held up better? It's got to be Super Mario, right? I gotta sneeze. Oh, yeah. It's got to be Super Mario, right? Because they've had all those movies and shit. Has Sonic had movies? I don't fucking know, man. We play Mario on the Wii and shit. We don't play Sonic. I did love Sonic growing up. I had the Sega, the handheld fucking Sega back in the day. I'm talking real old school. It was dope. Yeah. What was that, dude? It was like a PSP before that ever existed. It was literally a handheld. It was Sega Genesis? Was Sega handheld? No, it was like its own. I don't fucking know, dude. But I remember just playing that all the time on like car trips. Luke, can you tell Gaff to stop ducking me on UFC 6? Dude. He says I think he said he's gonna do his Fight Club thing this week. He better. I need someone to fucking play Gaff, and I'm gonna be invested in that. The simulations are fun to see what happens, but they're not like Gaff gets super invested in them, which is hilarious and it makes for great content, but I don't get super invested in them. I'm just more like, ooh, what happened? Um, I would get super invested in Gaff versus one of you guys in the video game. I'd be like, fuck yeah. Who's gonna win? Oh shit, he rocked. You know, it's way more like it'll be fun too. And Gaff will talk shit if he wins. He'll be bummed if he loses. You know, it'll be fun. I think he should just do that all the time. Like every stream, I'll play whoever. So hilarious because Felder was telling Bisping he was smoking a vape in Serbia, and then Bisping told Felder that someone told him they got a vape into Serbia via their ass. If Smiling Sam Alvin does prop quiz, we all get in secondhand CT. Gas station sushi or gas station coochie? I mean, coochie all day. Sushi from a gas station? I'm good on that. First time watching, Luke? Let's go, bro. LAL, did you ever watch Rocco's Modern Life back in the day? Come on. Come on. You're talking to a half Australian here asking me if I ever watched the show with the kangaroo. Show's listed as adult humor now on Paramount. It's a crazy show, but really good. All the subtle adult jokes are crazy, LOL. I haven't watched it as an adult, I'll be honest, but I'll say a funny thing about Rocco's Modern Life was Knocking on Heaven's Door by fucking, what is it, Guns N' Roses? I used to think the lyrics were knocking on Heifer's door, Heifer being, you know, the fucking pig or whatever in Rocco's Modern Life. Yeah, true story. Another true story is like 5-6 years ago, my friend, it was 2020, so 6 years ago. My girlfriend's friend had a 30th birthday party and it was 90s themed, and we all had to like dress up, not as our favorite 90s character, but you know, wear like a shirt or something with them. And I got a Rocco's Modern Life shirt. I was like, fuck yeah, I gotta go the Aussie style. I liked when they would get all fucked up and talk shop. That's what Gaff and I are gonna do in Philly, like old school RSD / UFC 330 preview. We're just gonna start drinking and talk about whatever, but try and keep it about the fights. What's up from Chicago? Let's go. Chi-Town in the house. Ally Quinto was quite underrated from Sarah Longo. Facts. Shout out Ray Janelle. What do you think happens if we end up with Olberg? Oh, Olberg, Sterling, and Whitaker as champion and top 2 contenders. Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought Aljo at first, and I was like, what? Shit. I feel like Rob. I don't know, though. Rob has repeatedly said, I don't fight people I eat with or whatever. But at the same time, it's like Rob joined that camp or that gym, you know, what, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, you know, like not that long ago. Whereas Sterling and Olberg are like from the come up at CK, but like they've probably been boys for longer. So I don't know. I want to say Whitaker, like I feel, and also Sterling's young, so I could see Sterling being like, I'll wait, like Merab Aljo style. I'll wait it out. I'll let him do his thing. I'll do my thing. When he's ready to move on, I'll take it. Whereas Whitaker's up there in age, I could see Whitaker being like, fuck it. Let's see if I can get the belt back. Let's do it. But I really don't think we're going to have to worry about that. Because, like, for all we know, Whitaker's not even going to get a top 5 guy next time. He might get, like, a top 10 guy. Or they might give him, like, a number 1 contender fight. Who the fuck knows? And Sterling, same thing. Sterling's like, I'll fight down in the rankings. I don't give a fuck. So, it seems like neither guy's in a rush. Then you have to also think if Olberg fights, you know, fucking Ankalaev next and Ankalaev wins, now we're not even in this predicament. So, a lot can change. Oh, we're talking about Ilya. He literally put his arm around his friend. Friend did some sus hand touching. That's about it. Yeah. Okay, time to get the Luke's chicken for not going on prop quiz fan subs going, I think. Yeah. I don't think he can be bullied into it, but it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. Is the Odyssey like an integer or Luke Ducks, LT Mallard Duck? Volcano High just feels super heady and clean in my opinion, but it's definitely different. Would rather slurp a fat dab. Oh yeah, I was talking about you guys got who I was talking about. Ali and LT would be fun. Where's Noah? Noah who? Where Noah and Opturo randomly pop in my head multiple times a week? I don't know what that is. Is that a pet tank behind you? No. It's just LED lights on a bookcase or on like a shelving unit. No pet tanks here. We only have a cat. We have Ruby upstairs. Shout out Ruby. Ruby! You could have Ali and Mike Israel on prop quiz. Their head silhouette would be identical. Is it getting harder and harder to generate questions the longer prop quiz goes, or is it easier because you're getting better at generating questions? A little bit of both, I think. It gets so hard when I have repeat people on. Like when I have Aaron Bronstetter on for the 10th time, it's like, fuck. I've already exhausted like anything I could think of relating to him kind of thing. Newer people, it's a little harder to write intros for because I don't know them as personally. I'm like, fuck, I know nothing about this person. Let me just say whatever. But it's definitely easier to make questions for them because there's so many new things they have a new name. It's like, oh, I could make this category. I can make this, whatever. The actual question making, I've always said this. Once I have the categories, the question making is easy. But coming up with the categories takes me a minute. So a little bit of both to answer your question. Maybe we get D1 to Vasa in rare form against Rebellis. Hey, Luke, what font is that for prop quiz? I don't know off the top of my head, but I could find out for you. Luke, I'm salty you never picked my email that had a clip of a lady taking a dump on a driver's hood of their car. It was literally the most perfect clip ever for BC's Feces segment. Sent it 5/6/25. Please check. You sent it to my email? You sent it to Morning Combat? Either way, we don't do BC's Feces anymore. So what do you want us to do about it? It's not really a fan sub if it's just a viral clip, but maybe we could use it for something in the future. Depends on the arena, but the best seats you can get a lot of times are the first row directly above the tunnel. You can talk to the fighters as they get ready to walk. Yeah, that's dope. Close enough they don't look like ants, and you're high enough to see over the cage. No one's in front of you. Yeah. I only went to one UFC event and I got those seats. It was amazing. That's dope. Loosely, a lot of people have said that. Nah, they just look alike. I was just busting your chops. UFC 288 was like $350 each for midsection seating before fees and taxes. Fuck that. The email subject was urgent fecal matter submission. That's probably why it was ignored. The last UFC on Fox I paid $450 for, I would consider good seats. They gauge you even back then, in my opinion. Don't lie, bro. That does look like Lerone Murphy. I know. I was just busting everyone's balls. We getting the July fan sub winner Friday? Yes. Good call on that too, Lazy. I gotta fucking. That's always annoying too, because I just go through. I find like 5 that I think are the best, and then I text Luke, and I'm like, "Which of these 5?" And then I text North Korean censors, and I say, "Which of these 5?" And then we like add all of our votes together. But nothing's coming to mind, which sucks. Not that they've all been like good, but no one like has been a clear, at least that I'm thinking of. Like when we got the bingo card, that was like, ah, dude, that person's definitely winning. You know, like, so I'm gonna have to go through them. Have you ever huffed paint? Not on purpose. Say that much. Not Charlie Day in that sense. Are Paramount sorting those walkouts, by the way? I've been seeing a lot of people posting about the begging for them to sort it every day. Dana said they were going to, so hopefully soon they will. I don't know. If LT decided to stop doing MK one day, would you take the reins? If it was offered to me, I don't think it would be offered to me. I think they'd probably just say, all right, show's done. What's your favorite moment working with MK? Also, what do you like most about the job and least? Favorite moment, I brought this up recently. There's like all the classic moments, like Luke doing Encanto karaoke, BC doing Mike Jones, Luke late that time when we met him in the road, um, going to like event, like going to Vegas with them to go to like we went to Canelo Charlo and just like watching, being in a boxing arena, just chilling with them, watching boxing, like elite boxing matches for like 4 hours, pretty dope. Doing the watch alongs with them was always fun, especially the prelims, because they would only go live for the main card. And for the prelims, it would just be all of us chilling there watching in the other room on like a huge TV, and it was a lot of fun. Stuff like that. What I like most about the job is that I don't really have a boss. Like obviously all the smoke is like who, is our higher up, but like no one from that company is like telling me what to do, you know what I mean? And if I have like an idea for the show, I just like put it in there. Like I'll run shit by Luke just to make sure he wants it, but like it's kind of just my own shit, which is cool. And I don't mean to sound like fucking annoying, but like there's really nothing I don't like about it. Like when you say what do you like the least? It's like I get to do it from the comfort of my home. We're in such a good like workflow with it that like doesn't take that much time to make the show. We all know our roles. It's just like it's very a well-oiled machine kind of thing. And because it's 90% from home, I mean, what am I going to bitch about? I could bitch about the commute to the city, but even that is once a month. I can't complain about that. I actually like doing that once a month, you know? So, yeah, no complaints from me, honestly. Can't go a certain number without picking from the the highest two difficulties of picks. That's just going to get so confusing. Why punish someone for being good at the game? We want refs stopping combos that lead to KOs next. That's kind of how I feel. It's kind of how I feel. Like if you're gonna, the only time I'll ever feel bad is if you guys blindly vote for contestant A to go first and they run the board. Contestant B doesn't even get a chance to answer a question. I would feel bad in that moment. But if you get even one chance and blow it, I feel like that's on you. Also, you have a no sweat there. Technically, you should always get two chances. Like, why you should just use your no sweat on your first question. No reason to ever save it. I think you could be thinking, "Ooh, let me wait till there's like four left and hope that I get the board so I can use my no sweat." I don't know. Like, I feel like use the no sweat right away. Save the 50% for like a strategic moment. Sam Alvey versus Kenny Florian. I've messaged Kenny. I can't get in touch with him. And I've done submission radio with Kenny too, so he like loosely knows who I am, I think. Prop quiz brought to you by AG1. Dude, I'll gladly take an AG1 sponsor. I don't give a fuck. But no. Ask Hims for a sponsorship. Pretty sure your demo is like 25 to 40-year-old dudes. It's perfect. I'm good on that though. Sam Alvey versus Roxanne Modafferi. Smiling Sam versus Happy Warrior. That's actually a fucking great matchup. Ask Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall, notoriously not that friendly, gonna be honest. And I've done a few things with him because he's actually boxed on Showtime boxing events. When Jake Paul was boxing on Showtime, Uriah Hall was on the undercard, and yeah, we'll just leave it at that. We need to ask Jed why he doesn't care for Kenny Florian. Am I right, chat? Why you said that? I know what LIL is talking about. Can't think of the name either. I don't know what I was talking about. Game Gear? Is there some inside joke I'm missing? Jen doesn't like Kemfla? Oh, Game Gear. Oh, maybe it was called that, guys. I don't know. I'd have to Google that to really see. Let's do it. Yes, that's 100% what it was. Yeah, released in 1990 or 1991 in North America. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, we had a black one of those. And all we had for it was Sonic the Hedgehog. And it would always die. It would die like fucking 2 minutes into playing it. Like you would have to like turn it off. You'd get 2 minutes of juice and then it would die on you again. It sucked. But it was dope. Yo, shout out Cosmo Kramer. He gifted 5 fucking memberships. Appreciate you, bro. And then Degenerates like, I see your 5 and I raise you 10. Let's fucking go. You guys are the best. Appreciate you guys. Bellamere confirmed for Contender Series. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's someone I'll root for. Oh, he is a wallaby. You're right. Not a oh, and he was a steer, not a pig. You're right. All right, guys. Knock, knock, knocking on Heifer's door. Yeah, dude. Someone needs to do an AI cover of that song in Rocco's voice now. Yes, it was Sega Game Gear. I just Googled it. That was it. Cover in Rocco's voice would be funny. LIL should get some Rocco's Modern Life themed art for MK. So disappointed Stan Fairtex hasn't made the jump to the UFC or MVP. That's true. Luke's Modern Life. How else could you incorporate it? Listening to Jed bitch about Bisping is comical. Not sure why he isn't a fan of Kemflo. Do like a college Jeopardy version for LT with easy questions so it doesn't bruise his ego too bad. I did that last time. Luke versus Chuck was easy questions. You can go back. Or sorry, Luke versus Chuck. Luke versus whoever the fuck he played last. Who was it? I had BC, Danny, and then Jed. Luke versus Jed was easy questions. It's not, I can only do so many fucking favors for him. 6 AA batteries was annoying as hell. Dude, that's what I'm saying. I remember mine was always dying, probably because we probably had like one or all the batteries were just always dead. Who the fuck knows? I think you can repeat certain questions over time. I have, but by accident. I've never like copy and pasted an old question, mostly because I delete. Like I have a sheet with all these questions. As soon as that episode airs, I just erase that shit. So I think that's why I've like probably accidentally put the same question before. I just hope I never get the same person the same question, You're great, LIL. Hope your channel continues to grow so that even if you do stop doing MK at some point, you can transition in your own, still doing what you love and you are very good at. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. I hope you're right. I've had multiple fan subs ignored this month. Shit is fucking rigged. I've been starring. I'm lazy. I've been seeing yours. And I saw your newest one this morning, actually, which I think is great. But given the theme, I could see it not getting past. No one ever shows my fan subs, but it's probably because I don't send any. It's definitely the MK email. Appreciate you, bro. Please have that clip handy in case BC ever comes back to visit. He will be so proud. You're the real MVP. Thank you, bro. LIL would be rightful heir for MK. There's a gif of BC doing the Mike Jones karaoke on Discord. Let's go. McGregor Poirier watch along was legendary. The whole stream was great. So that was before I started working there. I was there for Oliveira Gaethje and Izzy Adesanya. Izzy Pereira. I think those were the two we did. One was like June and one was November. Oh, and then we also did Jones and Gone too. I remember being in studio for that. Yeah, I don't know, but the legendary Luke, oh my god, moment, I wasn't there for that. How do you handle fame now that your channel blew up with your prop quiz promotion or with your quiz promotion? There is no fame, and it didn't really. I mean, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but it didn't blow up at all. You know what I mean? I'm still fucking whatever. I will say it felt cool. I did reach out to someone this week who I mentioned them earlier, not by name, but saying that they told me they couldn't do prop quiz this week, but they can in a few weeks. And I wrote to them like, "Hey man, my name's Long Island Luke, blah blah blah. I have this quiz show." And I thought it was funny. They wrote back, they're like, "Yeah, I know who you are, Luke, and I know prop quiz. Like, like you don't have to explain it to me." I was like, "Oh, all right, that's cool." But I think if it really blew up, fighters would be down to come up. You know, none of these fighters are answering me. So also fame, I was laughing with that guy Kyle I work with. I went to the PFL event. Someone goes, "Yo, Luke," and I'm like, "Oh shit," thinking it's like, who could this be? And it's just one of my old coworkers. But I'm like, "Oh, Kyle," and I was laughing with him. I'm like, "Dude, I've never been recognized outside of whatever." Meanwhile, I hang out with Luke in BC, and they get recognized in 2 minutes. You know, it's like, but so there's no fame, put it that way. Does Nascimento's passing help or hurt Oliveira's performance versus Armin? I think it'll be indifferent at that point. I mean, I don't want to act like we're going to forget about Nascimento in 2 months or whatever, but Armin and Charles, that's not booked yet, right? Rumors 331, possibly 332. You know, I've heard a few different things with that. But yeah, I don't know. Depends how close they were. Luke, do those stairs behind you go? Yeah, they do go. There's a loft up there. There's like a TV, a couch. My girlfriend's like instruments are up there. There's like a keyboard, guitar. There's a whole bookshelf up there. It's big. It's basically the size of the room I'm in, which you can't really see the whole room right now. But um, yeah. Any of you guys remember the old baseball bat game? Literally, like a cheap baseball bat with a tiny screen where you would swing to play. Uh, I think I know what you're talking about, and is it like the fishing game where you like would cast the line and then like reel the thing in, but it was baseball version, so you would swing, but you would then like look at the screen and like do whatever. I definitely had the fishing game. 110 likes, let's fucking go. I heard people enjoyed the world premiere of that prop quiz song on One More Round Fights Combat Companion. Very nice. I did add it into the new episode, Lazy. It's at the end now. Again, it's coming out Friday, but stay tuned. It's in there. All right, chat. I'm out of here. I got to mow my neighbor's lawn before he goes live for his live chat at 3 p.m. tomorrow. All right, Cosmo. Sounds good. Sounds good. I think with questions and quiz games, it's often a case of pressure sometimes as opposed to lack of knowledge. You'll see what people on quiz shows ask what color the sky is. They'll have brain freeze, lol. 100%. Someone asked me something. I think it was the last live chat. Or no, it was my girlfriend asked me something like, something about a TV show, and she's like, "What's your like what TV shows, whatever?" And I literally was sitting there for like 10 minutes and I could not think of one TV show. Like of all the TV shows in the world, just like none were coming to mind. And I was like, "Dude, I see why people just freeze up." Mowing your lawn at 1:30 p.m., you inconsiderate piece of shit. LT probably. uh Maybe been a few Sonic movies, by the way, Luke. Jim Carrey's in them. I think the Mario games alone have held up better, though, but both great. Yeah, as I said that, I was like, I think there was a Sonic movie. Wasn't everyone pissed because it like didn't look like Sonic or something? I do remember that. Speaking of Jim Carrey, what are some of your favorite Jim Carrey movies? Also, name some John Candy ones too, as he was great. Okay, not as big of a John Candy guy. I'd say like Cool Runnings. Let's go. But Jim Carrey, Dumb and Dumber is the top 5 movie of all time. Comedy or not, it's a top 5 movie, okay? Dumb and Dumber's fucking classic. My girlfriend loves it too. We quote it all the time. Came out fucking 22 years ago, or 32 years ago, excuse me. So that's classic. Liar Liar is a fucking classic. The Mask. Who the fuck doesn't like The Mask? What else has Jim Carrey in it? Yes Man is coming to mind. That's a little like later. I'm trying to think. What are the like 90s movies where Jim Carrey? Oh, fucking Ace Ventura. Yeah, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and When Nature Calls. Both of those classics. Come on. My favorite's definitely Dumb and Dumber. Oh, Bruce Almighty, someone said. That's a good call. Oh, again, a little later. Like, that's like mid 2000s. But yeah, Bruce was good. I saw Bruce in theaters. Oh, Me, Myself, and Irene. Cable Guy. Damn, he's in a lot of movies. And I've seen all of these too, for someone who doesn't see a lot of movies. Again, comedies, guys. You know, comedies are where it's at. Cable Guy is creepy with the lisp and shit. Movie questions? Really, bro? Just popping in to boost numbers and thumbs up. Let's fucking go. You're telling me that the sex doll you had on stream a few weeks ago is ambulatory? It can play music? Impressive. Yes, yes. I thought of the funniest thing with the blow up doll the other day, guys, and I was bummed I returned it. I can't remember what it was now. Or maybe we brought it up on stream. Maybe it was that I was gonna rant like now, like that of months have gone by and you guys have forgotten about it. Like, hold on, Gaff, my girlfriend's interrupting me, and it's like her again, and like some shit like that. Like, just keep bringing it in as a joke, but like every few months. But yeah, I did return it, Salito, and it was an awkward experience. But we did got the money back. Said I never opened it. You know, may or may not have blown it up. You guys saw it. Blackbird, you can ask any kind of question you want, brother. That's true. Whether I answer it or not. I mean, someone asked me Oscar asked me whose dick was bigger, and I answered it. So please don't ask me something like that ever again. But, you know, I'm not going to shy away from it. We'll do anything to get on the trivia show. $1 million. No. Me, myself, and Irene. Oh, these are people going movies now. Oh, I think I'm catching up finally to the chat. What do you think of Trey Waters opening up the prelims for PFL Charlotte? Tough scenes. When you say tough scenes, is that where like Trey Waters' career, like where has it gone? Or are you saying like that's how bad PFL Charlotte? Like what is your, because Trey Waters, I have a rookie Trey Waters UFC card. So I'm thinking you're thinking fall from grace. Was he highly touted at one point? I don't know. They did make a card of him, so maybe. John Candy and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Great Outdoors are good. Cool Runnings is good too. You returned it? Hey, yeah, I just need to return this sex doll. Sleeto, it was even worse. It was at the UPS store because I bought it on Amazon, and that's where, you know, you can choose to return things. There was an old man, and there was like an attractive, like 20-something-year-old blonde chick at each register working, and I'm like, oh god, I hope I get the old man, because it's, again, it says sex doll on the, or not sex doll, it says blow up doll, whatever. It says like Dorothy. It had her name, and I'm like, all right, I hope I don't get the chick. I hope I get the guy. You know, we can kind of have bro code with this. He can keep it on the DL. Of course, I get the chick, and then I'm like, hey, and I put it down, and she gives me like a weird look, and then I'm like, it was for a bachelor party, because that is true. I did buy it for my buddy's bachelor party. We never used it, so I just held it for the next weekend for the UFC card. When I say used it, too, you know what I mean. We never blew it up. And So yeah, then I had to be like, it's for a bachelor party. I was like, this is awkward. Then another girl in the store comments and it's like, oh my God, figures you get like this really hot chick too rigging you up. And I'm like, well, now you just acknowledged that she's attractive. Now it's even more awkward. Now we're like, oh my God. I'm like, it's days like these. I'm glad I have a beard. I'm probably like blushing right now, you know? I'm like, oh God. So yeah, I was like, what should have just been, I thought I was overhyping like how awkward it was going to be. I was like, no, I'll be in and out. It'll be quick. It'll be fine. No, it was super awkward and hated it. Hated it. Uncle Buck is the John Candy movie. Sex shop doll owner watching this. It wasn't a sex doll. It was just a blow up doll. There was no holes. Luke, is it just me or does Charles Johnson look like a mini me version of Trey Waters? Is CJ Timu Trey? Let me pull up a picture of Trey Waters right now. I do have this PFL card open. Why don't I even see him on? Oh, he's the curtain jerker. Oh, I don't know why when I read that, Lazy, I thought you said he was opening up the main card. Opening up the prelims. Oh, God. Yeah, I didn't realize it was that bad. He kind of looks like Charles Johnson. I'll give that to you. Or should I give you shit like I gave everyone else with the Lerone Murphy thing? Trey Waters, though, man, hasn't won a fight in 2 years. Fights once a year for the last fucking 4 years, like 3 years, whatever. Yeah. Everyone he beat in the UFC, too, is kind of not great. But we'll see. If Billy Ray Goff wins this weekend, maybe that win ages a little better. Oh, yeah. Chances are LIL has seen more John Candy movies than he realizes. You forget how many he's done, really. Probably. Went 2-1 in UFC, got cut. Now in the first fight of the night on a PFL card. Oof, yeah. Did LIL just admit he's gay? What did I say? John Candy movies, and no one mentions Spaceballs. Oh, that's true. He is in Spaceballs. I never liked Spaceballs. I got to be honest. When you first started doing MK and doing this in general, did you have to build your confidence after a while, or did you go straight in with confidence like Johnny Bravo? I mean, you guys could watch back the first watch along and tell me how confident you think I am. I don't know. I took public speaking 3 times in college, and only because I failed it. All right. It was part of my major, so I needed a C+ or higher. Took it freshman year, failed it, hated my professor, by the way. Like, he's the reason I failed it. Let's be real. Fuck that guy. Then I take it again and I get a D, which is passing, but it wasn't a C+ or higher. So I had to fucking retake it a third time. By that third time, I was like, I feel like I was chill, like public speaking, big fucking deal. Also, fun fact, I did do stand-up comedy like 10 times in college. So I've been on like a stage and shit. Like, I don't know. I just feel like also like I'm talking to a computer screen. It's not really that whatever. I don't know. I like to think I had the confidence by the time I started, but I wouldn't. They only started bringing me on MK once they like knew I had my own channel kind of thing, really. So I was already like used to it by the time they started bringing me on. Funny thing, the landscapers woke me up 10 a.m. I should be up anyways. Bro, my neighbor's landscapers come at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, every fucking Tuesday. That pisses me off. 8 a.m.? Come at 9. 8 a.m.'s too early. Hey, Luke, late to the party. You have your eyes on any Contender Series fighters this week or next week? I haven't even looked at the card, if I'm being honest. I was saying earlier, though, I'm really hopeful we have betting lines because in New York specifically, they haven't had betting lines on like DraftKings or FanDuel for Contender Series, which is really annoying. But if they do, I'll be way more invested in it. If they don't, I might just kind of watch the fights with you guys, but learn as we go kind of thing. And that's fun too, to kind of just like prospect watch and like see, oh, this guy looks like a fucking hammer. I'll remember him in the UFC, like. Dalton said, what's a realistic path to victory for Jillian? She doesn't have enough power to keep Dern from walking forward, and it's unlikely she submits Dern. Can she wrestle fuck her without getting subbed for 5? Yeah, that's a good point, dude. Don't get me wrong. Jillian is not a power puncher, but I would disagree with the notion that she can't stop Dern from walking forward. Because that to me is not that it's going to be like, oh, I knock Dern out on the feet, but I think that's her path to victory is to keep it standing and hope that she can just outstrike Dern. Because it's not like Dern is some great striker. I think you're risking it going to the ground with her. Mackenzie has said she's going to sub, or sorry, Jillian has said she's going to sub Mackenzie because she has better MMA jiu-jitsu. I doubt that, but not that Mackenzie or Jillian's is bad, but it's fucking Mackenzie Dern, you know? So I'd likely see a decision, but I could see it going either way. I'd probably side with Dern, but either way, I'd probably take an over. All signs point to Usman being signed. Who will be his first fight and who will be his toughest fight? So, dude, I said on fucking Submission Radio that I was like, they're not going to give him an immediate title shot, but I totally forgot they gave Kai Asakura an immediate title shot against fucking Pantoja. So then I'm like, oh shit, maybe they would, because that's like a pretty recent precedent of them doing that. And then it's 2 Ali guys, which unlike most managers, when you try and avoid your fighters fighting each other, he just fucking loves when his fighters fight each other. He gets twice the money. So could definitely see a Gaethje Usman fight. Also, like if you're Gaethje, you've said like fuck Armin, Ilya doesn't get a rematch. You know, he's kind of being like very picky and choosy, at least coming across that way. Well, I guarantee Ali could get him to fight Usman. Yeah, you're gonna fight our guy, you know. So I could see that. Otherwise, I like a top 10 matchup, but like close enough to the top 5 where he can get an immediate title shot off a win. Like a fuck. See, like BSD, you could do, but to me, that doesn't prove anything. I've said to you guys that BSD to me, I feel like is like a fraud, and I don't like. I would just favor Usman immediately over that. You could do Patty, but you probably rather do Patty Ilya. Max is a really good first fight and test and everything, but Max is probably just going to wait for Connor, and then you got Charles and Armin fighting. Yeah, so you're kind of like the highest he could go right now is like Roofy, which sure, but you're kind of killing off one of the, like I feel like they like Roofy. I don't think they would give him Usman. I almost think the immediate title shot could make a lot of sense, especially if they're doing Charles and Armin, because they're going to be locked up now. Let's also say, especially if that fight's in October or something, because now you could book Gaethje Usman for like January and be like, oh, well, sorry, you guys were booked, you know? 8 a.m. is crazy, right, bro? Credit to BC for always shouting out your channel on MK before anyone. Hell yeah, dude. BC was the man with that. 90s Cartoon Network or 90s Nickelodeon? Me and my girlfriend were talking about this recently. Although we said Disney too. Nickelodeon for sure. Definitely a Nickelodeon guy. But I was saying that like my mom's friend used to like babysit me after school sometimes, and they were a Disney family. So it was weird. I would go their house, watch like Disney programs, and then watch Nickelodeon at my house. So like by the time I got Disney when I was like 10, I was like, I know all these shows. Let's fucking go. How do you like your bagel? Fucking everything bagel. I'm weird. I'll go plain a lot of the time, mostly because they put way too much fucking butter or cream cheese on it. I don't fuck with cream cheese in general. I do fuck with butter, but if I'm putting my own butter on, you know, I'll put like a very light spread. But mostly I get like a bacon, egg, and cheese on an everything bagel. Like if I'm going to the bagel shop, that's my go-to move. But either way, choice of bagel, definitely everything. Or egg everything. It is normal for employed people, LOL. Nah, bro. I feel like nine should be the earliest you can mow a lawn. Like, come on. I get it though. Some people work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. in hospitals. Yeah. Or bartenders, bro. Bartenders work till fucking 4 a.m. And as someone who used to work overnights, catch the 2 a.m. train and shit, like, I would be trying to go to bed at 6 p.m. to fucking get a few hours of sleep when I could. And it's really hard to fall asleep at that hour, especially when there's a bunch of noise outside. Both were great. I think 90s Nickelodeon had better shows. Doug, Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats. What else? Hey Arnold. Fucking all that. Fucking Double Dare. Double Dare 2000 in this bitch. I don't know, man. The Nickelodeon just had all the good shit. Did you ever play the OG Worms games back in the day? Please say you did. They were so much fun, creating teams and blowing each other up while the worms were really funny. I don't know what that is. At first I thought you were talking about Snake, and for a second I thought it was called Worm. Like the old school, like on a cell phone game, you know? But no, I don't know what that is. Adult Swim was the best? Yeah, but Adult Swim was like late night. We're talking like kids, you know, like what are you watching after school? You know, you can't watch Adult Swim after school. You get plain bagels, bro? Come on. At least go like Sesame. Beavis and Butthead was hilarious. Hell yeah. Do you really think they would give him a chance to win the title, make PFL MVP look better if he wins right away? No. No. He never lost in the PFL. If he had lost in the PFL, it might make them look better. But like Eddie Alvarez came from Bellator and was a champion. Did that make Bellator look better? Maybe, but not really. There's been too many other duds. There's been Apache Mix. There's been Lorenz Larkin. There's been like too many others that have come over and not done. Hector Lombard. That I feel like one outlier doesn't change everything. Also, it's a highly touted prospect. Also, they just signed Saladin Parnasse. If Saladin Parnasse wins the fucking title, are they going to say the same thing? No. They just got a touted, prospect. It's not. Portland doesn't have bagel shops, and everyone brings it up in the Portland Reddit. How do you think Usman does in the UFC? I think he's top 5 and possibly even a champ. I think he's really fucking good. When was Phineas and Ferb? I don't know. That sounds familiar, but I don't think I ever actually watched that. Are You Afraid of the Dark was a classic. Used to scare the shit out of me. So did Legends of the Hidden Temple. Those people that chase you and shit. Purple Monkeys? Not the Purple Monkeys. That was the best team though. Islam or Volk in the first fight? Oh, dude, so that first fight, I was doing PBC fucking prelims. It was like Luke and Brian remote in some city doing the broadcast, and I was streaming it from Jersey City. So I was focused on the Showtime boxing because I'm literally streaming it. But then on this TV on the right, I had Volk Islam on. And then, or no, maybe it was a post-fight presser. I think it was a post-fight presser for that Showtime boxing card. I had to stay there for the full card. You do the prelims and you do the post-fight presser, not the main card. So for that main card, I was fully entrenched watching UFC. But then I had to focus on the post-fight presser. And then me and Gaff were on we use this fucking program where Unity, it's called, where like if you're in, it's essentially like a comm system for if you're not in the same room or whatever. So Gaff was all the way in whatever city they were in. Let's say they were in like Texas, and I'm in fucking New Jersey, and Gaff and I are talking on this thing, and Gaff is oohing and ahhing at the Volk Islam fight. And every time he does, I'm looking over at the TV, and Gaff's telling me it's 2-2 going into the 5th. It's 2-2. And then we watched the 5th, and we were like, holy shit, is there a world he fucking just won this? But I was kind of focused on the presser. I didn't really get to watch it, but I remember thinking there's a real chance Volk just won before they like read the scorecards. Worms is like the tanks game. Oh, I played tanks. Nick at Night type shit. Everyone's talking about Worms. LIL is a year older than me, and I played the shit out of Worms. Paul Hughes looks better, I suppose, but that's my Irish fandom, I suppose. No, Paul Hughes does look good because he hung around with Usman in 2 different fights. So yeah. But Paul Hughes is another one. Like, if the UFC poaches Paul Hughes, it's not going to make the PFL look good. It's just more like, yeah, you happen to sign that one really good guy. The rest of your roster still kind of sucks, you know? It's classic. You'd love Worms. It's the best. You can get them on the new consoles still. What about Pong? Yeah, Pong's a classic. Blue Barracudas was the best team, bitch. Or the Silver Snakes. Usman Rufi is actually a sick fight, and the UFC wins either way. Both have star power to run off of each other and propel them into a title shot or a contender matchup. When I was stationed in Iraq for war times, we played it for hours. I'm a pog, so I worked in an office. It'd be funny if you selected a strain that fits a fighter for the card for that week, the same way Gaff is creating a drink recipe that suits a fighter, and you guys can make a combo graphic. That would be cool, but then I'd have to go get that strain, and that sounds like a lot of work. But that is a cool idea. I should just tell Gaff to do that in addition to his drink thing. All right, we finally made it to the bottom of the chat, and we went fucking way longer than we did last week. We went almost 3 hours, guys. I did not expect to go this long. But I appreciate everyone who fucking sticks around, because that's what makes it go long, and you guys are the best. If you don't already, please follow me on social media and obviously subscribe on YouTube right here, Main Card Minute. I have a new episode of Prop Quiz coming out Friday. I'll have the 1-minute bet breakdown out tomorrow. And you already know, full card watch along for UFC Vegas 120 on Saturday. We'll go live 15 minutes early, 4:45 p.m. Eastern time. You can go give Gaff a follow on One More Round Fights. Follow MK. We'll be live Friday at 11 a.m. And Foes to Bros, again, we'll be back in a week or 2. I don't remember. I hear Ruby coming down the stairs. Let's see this. Oh, there she is. Yeah, Ruby. All right. So don't forget that. If you guys aren't already, please become a member. Shout out to everyone who gifted memberships during this stream. You guys are the best. You are what keeps it going. We do giveaways. We do belts, emojis, all that stuff. Giveaways are in the watch alongs though, so make sure you tune in for those. A few people have been requesting I put this up on audio platforms, so maybe I'll do that going forward if anyone wants to listen to it. Otherwise, I feel like that's it for me. What happened to my one song here? Oh man, I had the end song and I don't know what I did with it. Now I got to try and load this back in. Oh man. All right, fuck it. I guess we're gonna have to play the start song again. But appreciate you guys. I'll be back for fucking MK Friday, Prop Quiz Friday, Watch Along Saturday. You already know. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys next time. Till then, I'm out of here. Peace.
Yo, who got the picks, hot picks that ought to hit with the parlays to get the best money? I'm a bet. Small time or max unit, all the paper you can get. Doing this ain't new to this. We take rips and cash shifts. So who got the picks, hot picks that ought to hit with the parlays to get the best money? I'm a bet. Small time or max unit, all the paper you can get. Doing this ain't new to this. We take rips and cash shifts. Hey yo, Long Island, streaming live from New York. Strong Island, we get live what you thought. Bank roll too short. Y'all need the stack paper and rob the sports book like a crook full of caper. If you think we ain't hitting, then your chance is slim. It's victory bone wrist with Luke and Gaffney Jim. Got me cashing in a clock of chips on the regular. Fuck the rest, them other cappers ain't competitors. Ain't no stress, we just clocking them checks. The best plus money bets in 60 seconds or less. So get yours while the live odds popping. Underdog shopping, big props stay dropping. Non-stopping till the clock hit nil, but you can still get a deal while the boys make a kill. So you can watch the shills with the same old gimmick. Or flipping out and cop some guap with the main card minute. Who got the picks? Hot picks that ought to hit with the parlays to get the best money. I'm a bet. Small time or max unit, all the paper you can get. Doing this ain't new to this. We take risks and cash slips. Who got the picks? Hot picks that ought to hit with the parlays to get the best money. I'm a bet. Small time or max unit, all the paper you can this, we take risks and cash flips.